Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime! Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
This is Torque Motorsport.
Driving too fast, I don't wanna wait. We driving the days, we stepping in late. Nothing but blind and feel the tape. Let's be alive and we gonna skate. Let's be alive and we gonna
Holy
skate. You wanted to ride, you wanted to ride.
We're having some fun now, man.
Rockstar Energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
How we doing, Utah Motorsports Campus? Make some noise! Welcome out to Utah Motorsports Campus. That's right. Look at this beautiful backdrop. It is a beautiful day. The sun is intense when you're out there. When you're in the shade, it's nice and pleasant. Cooler in the morning, gets hot towards the middle of the day, and especially this afternoon, the sun really does bake it in, which I think is going to be ideal for track conditions. You know, good grip overall. The cars are going to run a little different than other events because we're at higher elevation, hence the name we branded this Elevated. We're going to be your tour guides here for our Link Engine Management ProSpec Championship. I'm Jared Dienda. Joining me, going from the start line, now up here to the box, Mr. Matt Sopa. Matt, good
Jared,
to see you again.
yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you. You and Jacob did a great job. Unfortunately, I wasn't here. Maybe some people were happy. All joking aside, I had an event with Ford in Detroit, so just failed to make ProSpec. But good job by you yesterday.
Yeah,
what did you think of qualifying?
It was good stuff. I
Yeah.
feel like we still got some sleeper cells in ProSpec, like I've been saying all season long, and it can be people will surprise you, and sometimes some people might disappoint you. But it's going to be really interesting today with the track is such high speed, a lot of grip, a lot of rubber already laid down. And, yeah, I'm excited to see this.
And you know, watching, going back and looking at ProSpec, you know, here we are up in the booth. Our judges in front of us, Brian Eggert, Ryan Latain, Robin Ishida, Sean Adriano, and Chris Ewell are your driver stewards. Pat Gentile, he is over there with the headset, race director, but giving you a little insight, a snapshot. Talking about the championship, Ben Hobson, it's Hobson's to lose. I mean, he got the win at St. Louis. Yep. You know, we're talking about Rudy Hansen, Andy Haley. They are part of the conversation, but something really bad needs to happen in 32 for Hobson. He's quickly going to he's the fourth battle into top 32. If he loses, there are scenarios that either Haley or Hobson can step up. Taking a look at this is Ben Hobson, piling that pedal commander GT Radial S chassis. Odie Bakshis in his camp, between Odie, Simon Olsen in pro, and then sharing that knowledge. Same car, right?
Yeah, essentially.
I mean, essentially. Yeah. But that mind share, you know, shout out to Cora Works on the roof. Andy Haley, again, this is 1-2. Andy Haley, we'd like to see him step up as well.
Yeah. He's
qualified fourth yesterday, from what I understand.
Yeah, he did really well. I was really impressed with it. His car just looked so smooth yesterday. He had everything dialed in, I think, that he needed to. And there's some other scenarios like you're talking about. He can take the championship today if certain things happen with Ben Hobson. It's kind of the focus on, like, he just needs to do his thing, drive the car. And
yep. And our number one qualifier winner in Atlanta, like I said, he manifested it. From 22, he says, I'm going to be up there, manifested it, and made it happen. Rudy Hansen got the win in Atlanta, which is such a storied track. It's our Talladega. It's our Monaco. It's, you know, that important track in the Formula Drift world. Seems very comfortable in his car. His car's hitting the right paces. You know, he's from Idaho. You know, he knows kind of the elevation drifting. He knows this track. He's been here before. So you could see Rudy, he's his own hype man. So
he knew
you know,
right away.
Yeah, he knew right away. Just riding that razor's edge, and that's really what the judges are looking for. They talk about kind of get to that razor's edge, make it look sketchy like you're not going to make it, but make it. That's that X factor they're looking for in qualifying. But when it comes to head-to-head, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
The smoke is going to be a big factor going from outside zone 1 into 2. There's actually a crane out there with an American flag. That's going to be utilized for reference. But you're seeing all the brackets. A lot, obviously, 16 battles here in the 32. And again, the big elephant in the room is this is the final of 4 of our Link Engine Management ProSpec Championship. And a champion will be crowned. Not only just a winner here in Utah, but a champion. Again, it's truly Ben Hobson's to lose. You saw the departure of points there, and here's the points in line: 100, 88, 77, 76, 64, so on and so forth. But yeah, you talk about this track, how it changed from last year to this year. Do you like the flow of it? What are your expectations here in head-to-head?
Yeah, absolutely. We took out an inner clip from last year, and the adding just outer zones really helps with tandems and helps with speed and fluidity.
Yep.
And the guys can really showcase that, especially coming from outer zone 2 to 3. That's going to be a big key there, because I feel like outer zone 3 is just like got like 20% more grip than the rest of the track for some reason, whether it's the rubber they laid down or maybe just a little lower elevation. I don't know, but that's going to be key there. Probably actually second to going from outer zone 1 to 2.
Yeah. Taking a look there, we saw Cole Richards got that win at E-Town, and definitely a young talent, rising star. Talking about this track, it's just flowy. You know, going from 1 to 2, what looks to be very simple, you know, kind of gets scrutinized by the fans, but I'll tell you what, sometimes the simplest courses are the most difficult courses, because there's more room for opportunity and also opportunity to fail.
Yeah.
You know, taking a look, inside clip 1, walk us through it.
Yeah, so they're going to come down there to over 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
You know, slice pie, inner clip 1, get through outer zone 1 really fast, and then setting it up for outer zone 2 is going to be key. The judges have always wanted them to slow down the car with angle after the transition, and to set that yourself up is really key with minimal corrections and input. Like we see guys, you know, adding handbrake to get in there. They don't want to see that into the zone either. So, and there's not much, you know, there's obviously gravel.
Yep.
There's still danger out here, but
oh, for sure.
Yeah. And then, you know, flowing to outer zone 3, you want the nice transition. The timing to that and the position of your car is very important.
The judges are really focusing on, and this is where I was talking about the departure of ProSpec to Pro, right? The horsepower numbers, they're limited to tires. They don't want them going outside zone 1 to 2 and lifting. With the ProSpec cars maybe being lower in horsepower, and again, given the parameters of their tires, they don't want them to just completely depart off that go fast pedal. They want
Yeah.
to stay consistent and fluid throughout, because if you lift that, like you said, slow the car down with that angle, which is naturally going to happen, right?
Right.
All right, so let's take a look at our K&N Keys to Success, Keys to Victory, brought to you by GT Radio. Walk us through it.
Yeah, so we're looking to quick to angle at initiation. Always a big chance for them to add that X factor. Decel after the transition outer zone 2, like I said, get back on throttle, because they want it before outer zone 2. They don't want to be handbraking inside there. Fill all the zones, get those big transitions going to just make our draws drop.
All right, so like I said, and here's what the chase driver needs to do. Get close at initiation. Get right there. Position in the pocket. Don't exceed the front car. Show that you have that proximity, that control, that angle, and don't get lost in smoke, which obviously every chase driver doesn't want to do that, but that is going to be a major factor. Maybe by comparison, again, PROSPEC to Pro, little different, but still a factor. And it's getting that, is it muscle memory, is it counting it down, is it, there's so many different factors there on how to navigate through that smoke and the GT Radio smoke. Of course, it being the Link Engine Management PROSPEC Championship, everybody running Link, everybody running GT Radios, hence PROSPEC. So first battle on deck is Rudy Hansen, again winner in Atlanta, round 1 of the 4 rounds, #1 qualifier. He's going against Zach Farrar. All right, Rudy Hansen, Zach Farrar, talking about Pocatello, Idaho, Everett, Washington, 2S chassis. If Rudy Hansen even has a shot at top 3, let's just call it what it is, he needs to push. Also, if you're here in the building, be sure to go by the GoPro booth. They're giving away a GoPro, and check out the all-new Hero 12 Black, just launched this week. That's right, exclusive pricing. If you're looking for a GoPro, now's the time to buy it if you're in the building. Discount plus an accessory bundle worth $200, only available here at Formula Drift. Also, daily giveaway at the booth, 3 o'clock today and tomorrow. So if you're planning on coming tomorrow, be sure to go by. But if you're here in the building, go swoop one up. Rudy Hansen, #1 qualifier. Zach Farrar, always got steez. Again, 2 very different builds, kind of one, Frankenstein with the, Rudy's vehicle. Zach Farrar, more true to form of the J feel.
Yeah, I mean, it might have a Toyota engine underneath the hood, but it's still all Japanese, right?
Right, exactly.
And Zach Farrar, he's one of those wild cards I always talk about. He goes 117%, I like to call it.
Yeah, I know. The car showed up. It looked so good. It still looks good, don't get me wrong, but it's seen a season, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Well, his you talking about that car seeing the season, he can do that in about 1 lap, this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be really exciting. These guys are two wild men behind the wheel.
All right, let's see what we got here. Getting ready.
Looks like we're going to do a rescrub here.
All right, the car's getting iced. And having to bring it back. Warming the tires up once again. This is our GT Radial Top 32 official tire of the PROSPEC Championship. And our GoPro chase for the championship. Let's see what we got. Zach Farrar posted up.
One thing to note with Zach Farrar is he missed our Wednesday practice, so he's about 12 lap deficit with everyone else, and he still managed to put.
Do we know why?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think just maybe travel stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, logistically coming out here, midweek. A lot of these drivers, weekend warriors. So coming out during the week, not always logistically possible. And Rudy now pulling to the start line. Let's see as we enter our first head-to-head battle in our 2023 season here at Utah Motorsports Campus. Here comes Rudy Hansen out of that start chicane. Zach Farrar is giving himself too much room here. He's going to need to. We talked about those keys to victory in the chase. And look at that nice stage. Right. Holy cow. Zach Farrar slams into Rudy Hansen. And, I mean, that's what it looked like at first glance. But, again, run it back. I don't know if Rudy checked up just from that angle. It looked like Zach came in hot, but I've been wrong before, and I'll tell you what, I will be wrong again.
Yeah, it looks like Zach realigned Rudy's rear tires there, added a little toe out to rear end of that car. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who. 'Cause we never really know. We only got the first glance. Maybe we can take another look at it here and see what might have happened.
Yeah, Shinchoku S13. We talked about, it's seen some seasons, and you said in one run you can make it in one season.
Well, this was not even one corner.
So here we go. Did Rudy Hansen check up at all? Oh my gosh, yeah, Zach was coming.
Yeah, I think he was off of interclip 1 a bit, so maybe he was trying to make a correction there. Maybe there's some other angles we can look at here. Looking from the sky here, he did grab a little handbrake. He's allowed to decel there. It's going to be a tough one to call because I'm kind of split.
Yeah, and I will say it, but sometimes the smoke is a good indicator. If you're not seeing a lot of smoke, obviously you're not seeing wheel speed and forward or side bite. So need to see different perspectives and angles here as we see Zach outside his vehicle get this thing towed off. So judges analyzing. You can see them discussing with Sean Adriano, which we have all these kind of different angles to either slow down or speed up the replay.
Yeah, because one thing to note, we kind of took away the decel map, so to speak, so there's not like such a black and white on where it is. So they've told the drivers where you shouldn't be decelling, essentially, in more of a vocal sense.
All right, so there's your boy Max filling in, and there's Rudy, definitely animated gentleman. You could see it, kind of frustration.
Oh yeah.
If I'm reading body language, looks like
broke my wheel.
Yeah. So all right, so it's a doubleheader weekend in regards to ProSpec and Pro. This is the GoPro Chase for the Championship. We're going to take a look at deeper dive in the Pro Championship. So we clean things up, find out who's at fault, what's going on. First battle, come to a screeching halt in the kitty litter there with Zach Farrar, Rudy Hansen. Our first battle. Don't go anywhere. Take a look at a deeper dive at our GoPro Chase for the Championship in the Pro Championship. Remember, this is round 7 of 8. Still have Irwindale after this as well.
This is it. The finals are set. The lights are on. Celebrating 20 years of FD, baby. Send it. Here we go. This is Formula Drift, and we are on the street to Long Beach for the first round. Your winner, Matt Field. Welcome out to Road Atlanta. This is round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Longton Jr., 2-time champion.
The battles that we had at Orlando, I mean, they were intense. There was a lot of contact with the inside.
Whoa, are you kidding me? Look at that. That was awesome. Chelsea to Nova gets the win. This is Englishtown Raceway Park, also known as round 4. Simon Olsen, Adam Elsie, neither have had a Formula Drift overall win, and one of them is going to make history. It is pro time here in St. Louis. The stage is set for round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. The finals are set. Odie Bakshi's against a new points leader, Frederick Osbo. Come on, boys, send it! Odie Bakshi's initiates in that first outside zone. Osbo cutting through that smoke line. Odie Bakshi gets the win. Who's gonna get the victory here at Evergreen Speedway? We've seen 5 previous rounds, 5 different winners. Frederick Osbo is leading the pack. Chelsea Denofa, Dylan Hughes, the local boy, is gonna put it down for his town. Oh, doctor, they go off course. Dylan Hughes surges forward. Contact was made. That's all she wrote. Your winner here at round 6. Chelsea Denofa gets the win. We'll see you guys in Utah. Send it.
Plastic bars when I copy my steel.
We're having some fun now, man.
All right, well, we got the flatbed out there, so wreckers or checkers. Looks more wreckers right now. We'll see if Farrar can even make it back to the line. I mean, it's pretty banged up, hopefully just aesthetic, but you saw Rudy Hansen right before we threw to commercial there with our GoPro chase for the championship, but talking to the judges, they did say that Zach Farrar was at fault. Talking to Robin Ishida, he says that Zach gave himself too much room. Farrar tried to attack, a little slingshot effect, so watch this, and boom goes the dynamite. So a little Rudy Pinata there, but nothing sweet about that. No candy inside of that. I would say a little bitter finger.
Bitter finger.
Not a butterfinger.
Yeah, maybe some Werthers in there too, but you can see
some old man candy.
Yeah.
I know you love those, dude.
But yeah, you can see right before the impact there, Rudy was kind of on the handbrake, trying to tuck the car in a little more, and then, like you said, slingshot engaged. Farrar, Boom City.
And like you said, at first glance, I want to take a look at that again. Yeah. Rudy wasn't on the perfect line. He wasn't ideal, but that does not justify for Farrar to come in so hot, slingshot, rubber band, whatever you want to call it, trying to close that gap. But let's take a look at it here with audio. Listen to the exhaust note layout.
I don't hear V8 anymore. He was about to light it back up, but yeah, he was off.
Yeah, but again, Rudy was offline, but it's not like an unchaseable run. It's not like Rudy was wildly off. He made a mistake, but it wasn't an incomplete or anything like that we would necessarily. It wouldn't have been a highly scored run like his #1 qualifying run, but just overcooked it.
Right, and
just a little bit.
Just because, if let's say Zach was right on his bumper there. A different story.
Sorry, real quick. This is his #1 qualifying run yesterday. So he was off there too.
Yeah,
so, didn't see his exact score.
Making you eat your words a little bit.
No, but it was closer than it was.
Yeah, for sure.
It was closer than he was right there on that head-to-head. So not saying that, again, by comparison, judges thought that was #1. So here's Rudy in the pits. So with that contact, Rudy is allowed to get hands on his vehicle, and he is allowed to get digitized. I mean, he's got the hex bugs on his leg. Look at Rudy.
Checking his heart rate there.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, kind of looked like himself in the.
Oh, that hurts.
Ouch.
All right, so there's Rudy and his team working on the car, and admittedly they had 10 minutes to work on the vehicle. Because he wasn't at fault. This does not utilize his NGK competition timeout. Zach Farrar would have to use it if he feels confident that he'd get his car. What's that? Zach is utilizing it. So Zach is using his 5 minutes. If Rudy's vehicle isn't up to his expectations, he can therefore ask for another 5 minutes, one and done, one and only. But you can see the alignment plates are out, so feeling confident.
Yeah, this early into the game, you really don't want to burn that 5.
Oh, dude, Rudy popped himself in the. He's bleeding.
Yeah.
He popped himself in the face with that lift, dude. Come on, Rudy. Take a breather.
Slow is smooth is fast.
Yeah.
Even when you're working on the car.
Yeah, he really jacked himself in the face there. So, Rudy, come on, man.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably got about 4 minutes left. When I saw the clock last, it was at a 5.5. So we'll replay on this hit. Let's break it down.
And he goes for a pump. Oh, come on. Where did he? Oh, it's the end. The thing popped out. Look at that. See that?
No way.
Oh, that was weird.
Oh,
it was the plug or
the handle to engage it or not.
Oh man.
Kind of came out.
Oh.
What luck.
Yeah, it just spun out.
Yeah, he needs to take about 17 breaths after all this. He gets his
Poor
10-minute in. calm down, but I think we're going to go to the next pair pretty quick.
Well, we got Adam Knapik and Blake Olson, two fun-loving dudes. Talked to Blake Olson. He says, hey, we're going to do like we did last year. I'm like, how's that? We won. Oh, yeah. Forgot. Sorry, man. And here we go. So back to the line. Adam Knapik from Southern California. Blake Olson from Las Vegas. Fairly equally matched battles. Knapik, he's had some moments of success, as has Blake. So this is just the way the cookie crumbles. But coming here to this high elevation, we'll see how these two vehicles, prepared down at almost, sea level. So we'll see. Adam Knapik, Blake Olson. Let's see who we got. Knapik out front, that donut S chassis. See Knapik light him up, initiates. Blake Olson drops into formation. Look at Blake now. You can see tucking it. Look how thick that smoke is. Talked about cutting through the smoke. Now Blake tries to reel him back in, but looks like he is over. No, he salvages it. Oh, you want to see that different angle again? We talked about the smoke being such a big factor here. There they go in that last outside zone. Uh-oh. And then throw some dust on it for extra measure. But we talked about how difficult it is to navigate, and you saw Blake was just kind of all over the place in that chase position.
Yeah, I feel like he could have been a little closer on the run-up here. Would have helped him out because I didn't expect that much smoke to begin with. Like, had him lit that thing up real good, looking like a pro out there. Filling out outer zone 1 here. Blake lost in the sauce. He's trying to make up some room. This is where I thought he looped it because I couldn't even see him in the smoke.
Oh, he does go considerably off.
He kept it lit in the desert. And Knapik, he's been hot this morning all practice. So to be expected, his performance in the lead run here. Blake just thrown off by a lot of outside elements here that is kind of a bummer. But looking at another look from the sky here, see Blake just completely engulfed in that. Kind of straightens there, potentially an incomplete, Jared. We can talk about that there. 2 wheels off for sure there. Maybe a possible straighten, but looking at that one zone, here we go. In outer zone 3, just Knapik out for a Friday night drive. There he goes. Yeah.
And taking a look at that, Blake was offline. So sometimes when you're in that, I say sometimes you're in that pocket, you get to evade the thickest smoke of it all. Yeah. With Blake going offline, initially, he was right buried in it.
He was in the worst spot.
He was in the absolute worst spot you could be in where it's the thickest. All right, Rudy Hansen, 1:40 left there. And as Blake Olson will now lead, you can see the Cora Works logo on the roof there of Blake Olson's vehicle. Shout out Rest in Power, Tyler, a.k.a. Ravel, owner of Cora Works. We lost him just a few weeks ago. And, of course, the Cora Works family elevating him because he was just such a fantastic human being. Super Street put some posts out there. He had a great celebration of life, and he will live on in our hearts. So, again, shout out to the Cora Works family. Here's Rudy Hansen taking a sip of water after getting popped in the mouth by his. Whose team are you on, Jack?
You are your own worst enemy sometimes.
Poor guy, dude. I don't mean to laugh, but that's just such a silly little thing.
Getting the Buffalo off track here.
All right. Hopefully get some updates from Lorette Nickel joining us here this weekend. She's down there, but again, big, large facility here. Utah Motorsports Campus. Now Blake Olson, that's Zone 1. BMW. He will lead. Hopefully with this clean air, he's going to have a better shot at it. And now Adam Knapik, let's see if he can find himself in the pocket. Blake Olson exceeds that rumble strip, throws Knapik off. There he is. So again, both these guys kind of tip for tat. Knapik takes a very shallow line. Blake Olson, again, that clean air, a lot more confidence. Knapik does gain that ground. He gets to the side of him, now transitions into that last outside zone. And there goes Knapik. So, see, look at that. So see how he was right there? If you do decent car placement, you could find that sweet spot. But let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I feel like if we had to just compare, let's say, lead to lead, it would be
that's what we do.
Close. Yeah. Well, I mean, lead to lead and, like, let's say the chase.
Yeah,
but,
irrelevant, right?
But now we're looking at, I think Knapik has a leg up on Olson at this point with that chase. He got a little better advantage here, a little better transition in here, and a little better positioning. Blake was really good in the zone 2 here. Knapik reeled it in, put himself also in the zone. That's what the judges want to see. They want to see him also in that zone. Put themselves kind of where the lead car has already been. A little left foot braking for both gentlemen here. And Knapik closed the door at the end there. I kind of missed that in the live there. That was a good shot there. by Knappich. Looking at it from the sky here, Olsen getting real close to that inner clip one. Knappich still in the party here. He gives him a little more room here, cuts the corner, but he does that correction. We want to make those kind of sacrifices short and sweet, and he does just that as they get into outer zone 3. Again, leaves him kind of more room, but then reels it back in. Look at the door, closed it through the finish. I'm wavering towards Adam at this point.
Yeah, it's just a little more settled. Both of them, I mean, I hate to say it, but both of them had some major mistakes on either side, but the most blaringly obvious was in that chase position.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Again, scrutinizing the runs. Our 3 judges this round: Robbie, Ryan Lontaine, and Brian Eggert. Looks like Adam Knappich unanimously gets the win. Knappich and the Dona S chassis moves on. Unfortunately, Blake Olsen, you know, again with that confidence, looks like it's a short day for Blake Olsen after getting that victory, like he said last year here. But unfortunately, Blake is going to park it.
And it's a kind of an interesting note because Blake has a naturally aspirated vehicle, and
Yeah.
Knappich has some boost under the hood to they can crank that up at this elevation. Yep. So it's kind of another thing to factor in, but as minuscule as it may be.
Yeah. Casey Cole, Dmitry Brutsky. We know Brutsky as being a ProSpec champion. Casey Cole, this M-Spec performance vehicle. Let's see what we can do here with Cole and Brutsky. Brutsky, 108 points back, sitting 4th. There's we're used to him getting the championship, but tell you what, the ProSpec field has really elevated and jumped up just over the years, and where it's at right now, I mean, you're seeing some really phenomenal driving, just like in pro. It could really be anybody's weekend, and indicative of that is basically 3 different winners, 3 previous rounds.
Yep.
You know, here's Ben Hobson, who got the win in St. Louis, but he's shooting for this championship.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I've been hearing the trend this year in the past few years in the pro. They're like, you can't sleep on anybody. It's the same thing in ProSpec. You get wild cards and sleeper cells all over the bracket.
And the variety of builds I really enjoy. You know, just again, if you're a fan of engineering, just the spec aspect of it is I really enjoy as well. Just leveling out the playing field.
Exactly.
Casey Cole will lead. Dmitry Brutsky giving chase. Casey qualifying 8th. Dmitry down there in 25th. Unfamiliar territory for this multiple champion in ProSpec. Casey Cole, the M-Spec performance vehicle, the Drift HQ BMW.
I really enjoyed Casey's qualifying run yesterday. It was
a burner?
Yeah.
Nice.
Really.
Here we go. Casey Cole leaving that start line. Dmitry Brutsky. Again, another way of gaining some ground. Looks like he does lunge to the side. And now into that first outside zone, and now coming that second outside zone. And see, you can see Brutsky, there's a compensation that he's doing here. He's not getting as deep, but he's avoiding the smoke. So is that strategy, or is that just him making a mistake and not getting deeper? But there he goes towards the end. Where was that? Earlier in the run, like I said, was that strategy? Is that basically the car not being able to get out? Walk us through it again.
Yeah, let's check out that flick from Casey Cole here as they go into the inner clip 1, good proximity there. Brutsky does a good job here, reeling him in pretty early to their auto zone 1. He's not quite in that smoke trail, but was it a mistake? It looked like he had a little more angle there. I think it was just where his car was placed there. He was able to reel him in. He's got a little more grip in the car. He's able to do the same thing in outer zone 3 here. Back a little bit, but reels him in, kind of closes the gap on Cole as they go through the finish line there. So good job on both. I think they did good. They filled all their responsibilities as lead and chase drivers. We'll take a look from the sky here. You can see Brutsky wheeling that thing through outer zone 1, trying to dial him in. Not many handbrake. Brutsky was on the throttle trying to reel him in here. Look at Cole out front. Cool as a cucumber, filling all these zones. Good smooth transition. I mean, like we said, you need a really pretty canvas to paint a good picture, and that's what Casey gave Brutsky here.
I think, when you're out front, you need to be 100-point run, because you just don't know how you're going to end up, what you're going to be dealt in that chase position, meaning what that lead car is going to do, how they're going to navigate smoke, dirt, debris, just all of that. So I think when you're out front in that lead run, I think it's a major advantage also to lead first.
Yeah. Because
then you could really set precedents, and maybe have that advantage out of the gate, hoping that, that chase car is going to make some mistakes. Like again, does Okay, hear this. We are getting an update here in regards to Zach Farrar and Rudy Hansen. Farrar did not make and complete his vehicle up to snuff after his NGK competition timeout, so Zach Farrar is out. Rudy Hansen has a bye run, will advance on to the top 16. Here we go, advancing in an alternating order. Brutsky out front, and Casey Cole in that chase position. Cole as a cucumber, as you say.
Did I say that?
No, I said Cole. So here is what I'm talking about, right? So now in that chase position, Casey, a little more settled. You see that good proximity. Brutsky, now that he's out front, he's going to do exactly what he needs to do. Casey with some wavering in the chase position, but Brutsky with that clean air, you could just see he needed to do that. So lead versus lead, chase versus chase. This is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think we're going to waver on like the wow factor. I really loved Cole's initiation here in the chase here. He gets really aggressive. Actually betters the angle at one point a little bit. Keeps good proximity there. He's getting in the smoke, but this is the crux of all these runs here. Is getting that transition down. He reels them in really nice, close to the gap. Probably the closest proximity we've seen in outer zone 2 so far today in competition. He almost anticipated that transition too early. He threw in too much angle, and I think that's why he just fell behind, which was truly unfortunate because he had an absolute banger of a chase up until that point. That would have sealed the deal. Now he's got to leave it in the judges' hands. Taking another look at it here, Brutsky flicking it in here. Look at that angle that Cole had in the chase position there. Good proximity to inner clip 1, rolling through. You can't even see Cole at that point until it pops out, and he puts the fishing reel on and gets it rolling in there through outer zone 2. There he is, good proximity here. He almost anticipates the transition, but right there, adds too much angle, slows the car down, loses momentum, and just can't quite close that gap again through the finish line.
Yeah, Casey Cole. There we are looking in the pits of Casey Cole. Wondering if that was enough. All right.
He's got Jacob's hat on.
Yep. All imposters over here wearing signature Jacobs beanie.
I'm going to go one more time.
Oh, wow. They're saying one more time?
That's where I'm going to go. I want to win. But
he wants to win, but says going one more time. But that's, wow, that's great perspective.
Yeah, looking at the side-by-side here, you can see Brutsky had a little more real estate between him and Cole here as Cole closes the gap a little better. Then Brutsky in there through outer zone 1. Pretty similar here. They both reel each other in, but Cole does actually close the gap in outer zone 2. Look at here, Cole's transition, but Brutsky does it right. He loses less momentum and he's able to reel it in there. So there's like a good chase. I mean, that's, yeah, one more time I think is a pretty good evaluation. See what the judges have to say.
I think, you know, my perspective is that, and I'm seeing the judges tap in, I liked Casey's aggressiveness. I think that, again, Brutsky, yeah, that's kind of where I was going, but if they go one more time, I can understand it. Looks like one more time, and Casey Cole, and Casey Cole gets the victory. So again, I agree with both those decisions, but I think Casey's aggressiveness in that, you know, him being the second chase driver, him risking that. That's Robert Thorne in the ASM via ASM shirt. So Thorne, who was our, I don't say defending because he made the jump from PROSPEC to pro. He's over there in the M-Spec. They're saying good win there. So again, even his own team is anticipating a potential one more time. But guess what? Yeah.
So what I was going to say was, like, if there was an X factor in the chase position, Cole had it in that initiation. Like, he just bettered the angle, and it was super aggressive. Really fun to see. I really like that. Yeah,
Brutsky just took that shallower line, and, you know, I can understand, you know, kind of, again, don't know if it's by design going shallower to avoid the smoke, but here's Rudy Hansen's bye run. He will be advancing on, and he'll be going against Knappich. Lay out and listen. Rudy Hansen.
Screaming Eagles.
And again, Rudy Hansen advances on due to Zach Farrar and his contact being made on that first run. Zach aggressive. Zach Farrar was at fault. Rudy Hansen was allowed 10 minutes without utilizing his competition timeout. Zach Farrar did have to utilize it. Unfortunately, 5 minutes, not enough to get his car back up and running. So Zach Farrar has basically not able to compete further. So we are seeing, again, Rudy Hansen take that bye run. So Hansen moves on. Knappich is who we'll go against in 16. 3 drivers already advancing into our Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. Also, PROSPEC contingency, $2,000 for the top finisher. So contingency there, courtesy of Royal Purple. There he is, Casey Cole.
New haircut and all.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah, I barely recognize him. I called him the new guy on the M-Spec team.
There it is. Smile says it all. High five from Mr. Thorne. Yeah, Casey Cole sitting 24th, taking out Dmitry Brutsky, who sits 4th, but now changing of the order there. There's, again, Thorne, maybe giving some insight. Now, this is a big one to watch right here. You got Ben Hobson versus Ryle Connor. Ben Hobson, notably winner in St. Louis, our current points leader. Quite a departure. And the big one here is that Ben Hobson, you know, it's not, if he gets knocked out, it's not for certain that he would lose the championship, but it definitely betters his chances to lock it in. And want to make sure that the scenario here, want to find out. So there it is. You can see, do the math. I mean, 65 points over Andy Haitley, and he qualified 9th. You know, I mean, still top 10. It's decent, but it's not just saying like, hey, I'm here to win, you know, like Rudy Hansen. But again, could really be splitting hairs here, 1st to 9th.
Yeah, like we've said, this track can be an equalizer in itself as well. So I think he's got it in him. You know, we always feel when one of our, we've seen people perform so well at tracks and then they qualify, but this is gonna be good. So
here we go, Ben Hobson, Ryle Connor. Again, not a must-win for the championship, but this pedal commander S chassis. Hobson leads really solid. You can see him bringing out to the outside zone. Ryle Connor bathing in the smoke like a Bath & Body Works bath bomb. And Hobson, look at Ryle Connor, exit stage left. And Hobson with the clean air dials it in. Ryle Connor, that will be an incomplete for him. So Hobson, a major advantage. A major advantage. As Ryle Connor rips it and grips it coming out of the gate. So Ryan Sage, I want to talk with you about the scenarios here. So again, Ben Hobson, if he advances on, does he lock in the championship, or is it just it's still potentially up for grabs? I know you told me the scenarios.
He doesn't lock in the champion. He doesn't lock in the championship, but he definitely makes it much more difficult for the 2nd and 3rd place guys to win. They would need to get close to the Final 4 or the finals or win the event, depending on what happens after he makes it to the top 16.
Perfect. Thank you, Ryan. Again, some great insight there. I got the. Again, I know he loves hot moms. That's the big one. That's the biggest elephant in the room. But again, he's rocking that CoroWorks sticker. As we take a look here again, Ryle Connor going off. That's got to be a real big confidence booster for Hobson. Unfortunately, Rye, you know, maybe handing Hobson the win. Ryan Sage, elaborating, president of Formula Drift, elaborating on just widens that gap and the potentiality of wrapping up the championship, probably in the top 16. If he wins 16, pretty sure that'll wrap up the championship.
Yeah, we were discussing earlier that if he gets in the grade 8, that's pretty much sealed deal there for Hobson.
Got it. If Hobson wins, yeah. If he wins the event, or you mean if he wins 16? Oh, okay, got it. If Hobson wins here, Rudy is eliminated from mathematically the championship. Copy that. So again, mathematically, Rudy Hansen currently sits in 3rd, even with his advancement in 16. That would, again, eliminate Rudy Hansen. All right.
I think we're doing a little track sweep here before we get run 2 going.
Yeah, Ryle Connor brought some party favors out there on the track, so we're cleaning it up. Ryle Connor in that Nissan Z, but notably Ben Hobson, pedal commander, GT radio, CoroWorks, S chassis. I could see how much dust was brought onto the track, so blowing that thing off. Beautiful day here at Utah Motorsports campus, Matt. And obviously, it's been fun to have you up here in the box this season. Hopefully you've had some fun and learned some things and just different perspective, right?
Yeah, it's never bad. it's especially here with this picturesque view. This is just gorgeous. You know, our banter back and forth. I get to talk about cars and like share, you know, my excitement of why I think it's cool, and it's a lot of fun up here.
You're a driver yourself. You got a few different vehicles you're building, from back to the Fusion, your Coyote powered Ford Fusion, your Fox body. I mean, you have quite a few.
Yeah, probably too many, but they're all ponies. You know,
yeah,
and,
I know you're a big Ford guy.
That's kind of my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
kind of jealous you got to see the GTD. You know, the other day I was like, I had a you know what, and because he did, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that new GTD, that's basically a GT. That's Ford's answer to Porsche and Aston Martin. 5.2 liter, 800 plus horsepower supercar, DRS, which is active aero. It's pretty sweet, but Ford is dedicated to racing, so it's really cool. And I'll tell you what, talking to Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, he says drifting isn't even an afterthought. It's right on the tip of his tongue, so it's really exciting to see a lot of manufacturers like Toyota, Ford, Nissan, all making a commitment to drifting. Here we go. Speaking of Nissans, we got a couple right here. Ryan O'Connor out front, quick little correction there, takes out the inside clip. Ben Hobson, again, he would love to get the advancement here, knocking out Rudy Hansen. And Ryan O'Connor goes off. And Ben Hobson continues on. Ben Hobson. Looks like he continues on and locks it in. And Ryan O'Connor just exits stage left, just overcooking it, going to that outside zone 2. Really struggling with that section of the track. So looks like Ben Hobson will be advancing on. Let's make it official. Sorry to cut you off there, Matt. But Ben Hobson gets the win and advances on. Congratulations to him. Again, one more step closer to being your 2023 Link Engine Management ProSpec champion, Mr. Hobson.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just took too much grip out of the car or picked up some dirt on the side there, but he was definitely abandoned the track there and just kind of washed out on him. But there we go. Hobson's just made it difficult to have anybody snatch that championship away from him as he moves on to the top 16.
All right. Waiting to see our next battle here as, again, Hobson advances on. He'll be going against Casey Cole. And all right, speaking of Casey Cole, Lorette, hey, what's going on? Awesome event last night. A little Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Thanks for joining us out here. But
sometimes
catch up with Casey.
Takes priority.
Congratulations, Casey Cole. You take that win. And he tells me that, as we've all been watching, this season has been a little bit rough for you, and you really needed that win to buoy that confidence up for you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, this season just didn't start off on the right foot, and with balancing my program and Dan's program, sometimes his stuff takes priority, and my car didn't get all the love it really needed, and so we battled with stuff in Jersey, and then we still battled with stuff in St. Louis, and I finally had some time, and we got to put some real energy into the car, and it's showing. The car's fantastic, and I love it. I love this track. It's fast, it's committed, but yeah, beating Brudsky, two-time champ, and to go from not making a top 16 this year to now being in one, and especially against somebody of that caliber, it's the confidence boost I needed, and I plan on taking it to top. I got you, Ben Hobson. I'm coming.
Ooh, some serious words just thrown down by Casey Cole. We'll see him in the top 16 next.
Yeah, so again, Casey Cole, you could feel the excitement there, taking out two-time champion. And Jaden Martirana going against Andy Haley. Look at this. We got Andy, not a spring chicken.
Yeah, he's not the oldest guy in the group,
but he
looks
like guy,
it.
But the beard, you know, Drift Wizard. I saw some fans with some Drift Wizard shirts. We got Ben Hobson face signs down there. That's awesome. We gotta love that. Big Ben Hobson. I was gonna say, is that a hot mom that's got it? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so Andy Haley, Jaden Martirana. Jaden, man, really looking forward to seeing how this kid just levels up. Is this the new car?
It is new car.
It's the new car. So Jaden's been talking about building this vehicle, and he's been down in horsepower. He's got the horsepower right now, but sometimes that's not the best thing. just getting what you're used to, and talk about, you know, here's a proven car. Andy Haley has taken this to the top of the box, and he felt confident qualifying, and right now, that Slam E46 looking really good. Again, talking about this young buck, Jaden, and just how much talent. He really impresses us, and basically, and now here is the scenario. Okay, sorry, Sopa, but this.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I want you to walk us through this.
All right,
run,
let's
and
see
then
how
I'll give you the
smooth.
news.
Like this car, Z46, is just looks so planted on this course. It's like made for the high speed. Jaden overcooked it there. That's probably 3 wheels off. That might have been an incomplete. I saw a little movement in the judge's hands after seeing this replay here, but Haley, he has no cares with Jaden behind him here in his Corvette. Haley filling in the outer zone 3, did everything you want to do in a lead car, giving Jaden that trust, but he just a little too late at the end there. So the scenario we got going on here.
Yeah, thank you. As Ben Hobson steps out, throwing the horns there, just got handed some notes. If Haley loses right now, Hobson does win your 2023 Link Engine Management ProSpec Championship. Right now, I mean, Haley needs to make a major mistake, a big mistake, in order to not hand it over to Hobson, because he's deserved this, man. His pop's there, give him a hug. Great family, love it. Love Hobson's energy. Just a fun-loving dude. But again, the big scenario here is if Haley loses right now, Hobson will be your 2023 Link Engine Management ProSpec champion.
I'd like to see them battle Hobson and Haley myself. So.
Oh, that would be great, right? I mean, look, Hobson and Haley could meet in the Ford. Yeah, but excuse me. Obviously, Hobson has to go through Casey Cole, and then Haley would have to go through Kelsey Rawlings or Margaritas Katsanis. So Jaden now will lead. Andy Haley giving chase. We talked about, you know, this car being talked about all the way back in Atlanta, you know, New Jersey, St. Louis, and now the vehicle's finally here. You know, how much seat time has he had? How much you know, R&D? Like what's he? You know, how much track time has this car seen? We know Jaden has definitely got some talent in the 15-year-old body of his. But here we go, past that inside clip into that first outside zone. Andy Haley, he's back there quite a bit, not making as big of mistakes as Jaden did, but he still. Oh, there we go. Yeah, fills that second outside zone. Now tucking in outside zone 3. Jaden a lot deeper. Jaden gets into the dirt.
Yeah.
So, you know, Andy Haley had some mistakes. Wasn't exactly deep, almost similar to Dimitri's, but I think Jaden's chase run with Andy leading, too many mistakes.
I feel, not only that, I feel like we haven't confirmed this with the judges that it was most likely an incomplete when Jaden went off that outer zone 1, but got Jaden out front here, going deep in outer zone 1. Haley got a little lost in the smoke transition just a little too soon. Reels it back in. Jaden doing a good job in outer zone 2 here. We'll give him that. Andy's here to party. Doesn't want an incomplete chase, so he's got to keep presence here, even if he has the advantage here as they get into outer zone 3. Jaden dipping a tire through half of that and through the finish line, so my needle is definitely wavering towards Haley at this point. Like we got Hobson's crew looking at the live stream here intently. Oh, look at that. So intense.
All right, so like you said, they are looking on very intently. Andy Haley driving back. I mean, he'd love to finish, obviously, the overall champion. But I think, you know, just being in the top 3, being part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So here's Jaden, here's Haley going tight on the inside. So little correction there.
Yeah, I feel like Haley wasn't given a bad lead run. He better clean this up in later in the bracket here if he's going to take the win. You know, if he wants to progress further, because these mistakes aren't going to fly later on.
Not at all. No, you can't.
He was given the golden goose in the lead, I think, and now he's got to grow that thing and have it to lay some eggs for him in the next brackets here. So. As blinded as it looks, he's just got to polish it up a little bit and take what he learned right away.
United States Air Force replay really being utilized here. Let's find out who moves on. Haley needs to move on in order to still have a shot. And if Haley loses here, remember, Hobson is your champion. Haley gets 1 vote and 2 votes. There it is. So Andy Haley does advance on. Unfortunately, Brian Egger, over to you. You don't need to put a headset on, but I'm assuming those mistakes by Jade and incomplete on that first run. He dropped 4. Yeah, and that's what you're talking about. But hey, Andy almost gave it away there on initiation. Am I correct? Got a little sloppy. And to your point, Matt, great eyes there.
Let's polish it up, Andy.
Yep.
I know you got it in you.
You got to tighten the screws there in order to not give it away.
Yeah.
Give it away now.
Yeah, don't ball it up and throw it out the window.
Don't red hot chili pepper yourself, even though, again,
don't
I know it is a
chili
habanero.
pepper.
Yeah, give it away now. All right, our 3 judges, Brian Eggert, Ryan Lontaine, Robin Ishida. Thanks for joining us here. Chris Ewell, Sean Adriano, our driver engagement officers.
DOs.
Yeah. Kelsey Rawlings, Margaritas Katsanidis. Was butcher his last name. I apologize. The drift doctor.
The Greek
doctor. Greek doctor.
Greek drift.
Here we go. All right, so Kelsey Rawlings out front into that first inside clip. Margaritas. Ooh, big correction. Oh, man. Oh, man, that is not where you want to be, and that is minus a lot of angle there, unfortunately. Now it's that last outside zone. Kelsey Rawlings. Kelsey looks great. This trap is really Sooner style. I tell you what, Kelsey's had some ups and downs, some peaks and valleys throughout the season, but that looked really, really strong. Car was settled, filling all that outside zone, and unfortunately, Margaritas, that second outside zone. That might
let's
be
take another look at it here. We got Kelsey doing all she needed to do in the lead position here. Katninas looks like he got lost in the smoke, and he was kind of too deep in outer zone 1 to begin with. Will it be an incomplete? At this point, I'm saying no, but he's definitely at a deficit here. Kelsey was looking like this in practice all this morning, doing all her due diligence to do what she needs to do in the lead position here. Katninas reeling in there in outer zone 3. Let's take another look at the eye in the sky here. Nice and synced up here, but Katninas just kind of anticipating if the car gripped up there, but just transitioned way too smooth, way too soon, and the car just gripped up or was in the wrong position about 10 feet to the right of the track where it needed to be. Good mimic of the transition here as they go into outer zone 3, and Katninas is trying to reel it in here, but really sacrificing a lot of line there. So he's definitely at a deficit here. The needle's pointing towards Kelsey at this point by far.
Like I said, this is really suited. And this is the kind of, talking with yesterday with Jacob, and there's some drivers that just, like Chelsea, for instance, I think this really, Chelsea Denofa, not Kelsey, but Chelsea, this suits his style, just really wide open, pinning it. James Dean, obviously our #1 qualifier, just throwing it in there. James had a big smile on his face. He's feeling confident, just new car for him. He's doing a lot of vehicle seat time. I mean, from FDRX7 to, his Eurofighter, right? He's kind of all over the world drifting, and a lot of these guys, even Vaughn Gittin Jr., he's doing Ultra 4. He's doing, these guys are so busy. I was with Turk in Australia 2 weeks ago at World Time Attack Challenge. He's driving Formula Supra. So diversity, man. I'm so proud of where drifting's at and what the drivers are doing. So here we go. Now we're seeing Margaritas out front. Looks like initiates, boom. Good initiation, a lot more comfortable out front. Let's see if Kelsey Rawlings can get it settled. Does she get affected by the smoke? Looks like she gets and drops into that second outside zone. Margaritas, well done out front. Kelsey, you saw the transition go to outside zone 2 to 3. Really good anticipation of what Margaritas is going to do. And Kelsey, I mean, I'd love to see this. Kelsey Rawlings, that was really well done. Again, outside zone 2 to 3. I really like the transition. When Margaritas transitioned, boom, she was like mimicking. Right?
Yeah, if anything, it could have been a little later, but I really like that. Needle's definitely waving her way, in my opinion. Margarita's a little deep in outer zone 1 there. Almost same thing happened to Kelsey here, but she kind of, it seemed like she sacrificed a lot less line than Katninas did here as they roll through outer zone 2. Look at this mimic here. Boom. Could have been a little later, and she could have closed the gap a little sooner, but she does stay in line way better than Katninas did in the chase position. So good on her for doing that. Take another look at the eye in the sky, the Air Force replay. Coming down the line here. Katninas filling that outer zone 1, 3 tires in there. Kelsey not straightening out and keeping it together here in the chase position, keeping the tires lit through outer zone 2, gets back in that pocket. That's where the judges want to see her, in the chase position. Good transition here by both parties, and here we go in outer zone 3. She reels them in at the last moment. keep it in the line, and there we go. You know, in my most humble of opinions, Jared, I think Kelsey's got this one.
Yeah, man. I think you're spot on. I'm just giving Margarita said that big glaring mistake there on that second outside zone, and Kelsey Rawlings really dialing it in. So let's make it official. Kelsey Rawlings gets the win and is going into our Royal Purple Top 16. Congratulations to Top 1 Oil, State Bill 303, S chassis with a Ford power plant. So Haitley and Rawlings, and notably just an update as far as the championship goes. Now, no matter what, if Hobson wins in the top 16, he is your 2023 Link Engine Management ProSpec champion. But if he does lose in 16 to Casey Cole, he'd love to play spoiler. If Hobson does lose, Andy Haitley would need to win the event to take that championship away from Hobson. Are filling up that bracket more than a quarter way through. Our top 32, our GT Radial Top 32, the official tire of the ProSpec Championship. That would be crazy if Hobson loses.
I'm just kind of rolling.
We saw that. Do you like what was that when the year that when Kevin Lawrence won? It was like there were 4 different people, this, that, points. Like
was that in Texas where they had it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just got all shifted around, and then where the chips fell, K-Law, he won. All right, here we go. Sam Magmami, Tyler Foley. Got a couple Beamers here, Beirut and Connecticut. Magmami saw this car, again, debuted earlier this year in Long Beach.
Not this one.
What's that?
He's in a different car this round for some reason.
Really?
I haven't done the due diligence to ask him why, but he's in an A36 this one. And I want to say that's a seat time car because he looks really comfortable in it. So
cool.
Let's check it out.
That might fare well, yeah, because he had that one series before. Here we go into that initiation point, tight to the inside clip. Now, outside zone 1, both the cars ripping. It looks like Foley there. Great angle, good. Great chase job. Now to that final outside zone. Oh, gets into the dirt. Foley throwing up a roost. The roost is on fire and brings it across the finish line. So again, looking at Magmami out front, qualifying 5th, and as you said, that's a testament to him being a lot more comfortable in this vehicle.
Yeah, and I felt like that lead run was very comparable to his qualifying run. So kind of a straight up initiation. Foley putting on the pressure here as they go through interclip 1, outer zone 1. Foley doing a nice job transitioning here, kind of safe, but he does reel him in here. They do a nice job getting close, keeping in the zone. That's right where you want him in the pocket, in the chase position. Look at this transition. Foley just a little bit behind, a little too wide there to make a good chase there into outer zone 3. Tries to reel him in, sacrifices way too much line, and that's going to be a big deficit for Foley here as the team No Grip Life BMW. So taking a look at the eye in the sky here as they go through outer zone 1. There's Magmami out front looking very comfortable in that E36, and Foley making up some ground here in outer zone 2. Very well composed, both drivers. Very little wavering here as they transition. Foley just kind of went to the right before his transition. I think that was the crux of his situation here as we go through outer zone 3. He's pouring on the smoke. He just could not reel him back in going through the finish line.
All right. Let's see. Foley will now lead. Magmami give a chase, taking a look at the outside of outside zone 2. Smoke and dust collecting, just linger in the air. Fortunately, got a nice breeze, which keeps it cool and also clears out the smoke. It could get really windy here. It could change. It could just pivot, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was here a few weeks ago, about a month ago, for Nitro Cross, and we utilized the jumps and the dust. They paved a lot of areas. Really fun. It's a great time. But I was driving out here from downtown Salt Lake. It's about 30 minutes, and it was blue sky. And then all of a sudden, boom, dust storm came in. I couldn't see anything. I had to exit the freeway.
No way.
That's how violent the dust and then the rain came in. Literally 95 degrees downtown Salt Lake. Driving out here, dust storm hit, sand, wet. It was crazy. Then it cleared up an hour later. Here we go. Tyler Foley out front, Magmami. Speaking of weather, here we go. Whether or not who's going to win. Foley, Magmami gets a little squirrely down in that back position, allegedly. So Foley into that second outside zone, but Magmami, like you said, he looks a lot more comfortable. He's applying that pressure. Oh, transition. Lets him just go past the nose, but ends up fighting Magmami, goes on the inside. Foley fills that last outside zone. I like how aggressive Magmami is, but maybe dial it back and get into the pocket as opposed to getting close on transition and risking it.
Yeah, if that's anything that Foley has in the chase position, that he didn't have to do any surging like Magmami did in outer zone 2. So taking a look at their initiation here, Magmami right off the bat almost takes out the clip there. Looked like the car did a little bunny hop almost there, but he did. This is the best transition we've had going in from outer zone 1 to 2 here in the chase position, but he kind of dove in a little too deep there, did a little surging, could have cleaned that up a little bit. I liked his transition here. It's just that he had to cut a lot of line as Foley was starting to fill up outer zone 3, but he kind of fell short, pulling Aang out of the car, giving Magmami a little more opportunity to get proximity there in outer zone 3. Air Force replay, eye in the sky, here we go. Foley getting in that outer zone 2. Look at the transition here for Magmami, just getting deep, adding angle into the car, and I think that's what happened. The car just scrubbed a lot of speed, lost momentum, had to pull angle out of the car, make up for that ground loss, and here we go, transitioning in outer zone 3. He kind of got a little bit of a gift there from Foley as he pulled out of the zone. It was able to reel him back in. So tough call here, I'd say.
Yeah, I liked what Magmami was doing. Like he's like you said, this car seems like it's an old friend, man. He seems very familiar with this. You know, it's Jaden earlier. You know, bringing his new Ford, or his Corvette, excuse me. Not a Ford. A Ford vet. We have seen that before.
Yes.
Going to you go to LS Fest. you see it all, man. Yeah. All right, here's our BC Racing Go for Gold BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Here's our side-by-side replay. Our judges scrutinizing. Magmami leading on the left and Foley leading on the right.
You can tell the aggression from Foley, or his proximity was a little better there, but it kind of trailed off there. Look at how close Magmami was in comparison to that transition in the outer zone 2. So Foley looking a lot more composed here in outer zone 2. Magmami making a few waivers and mistakes there, but he kind of was able to make up for it, like I said earlier, because of Foley's mistakes in the lead position. Pulling outer zone 3 gave him that opportunity to close in the chase. So if we had a whisper of a wish of which way this needle would go, I would say Magmami.
Hey, if you're here in the building, guess what? It's 4:30 somewhere, so the bar's open. Go get some brews and some seltzers. Yeah. All right, so head on over there. The bar is open. It's Friday. Act like it. All right, so do we have a winner? Do we have a victor who's moving on? We getting one more time? Magmami, Foley. We don't. All right, so you know what? While we're waiting, let's throw down a Lorette nickel.
So excited for Kelsey Rawlings and making it into the top 16. And Jared and Matt, you guys were talking about how comfortable Kelsey looked out in the track and how it was really suiting her style, but she said she's not comfortable at all, and you're actually dealing with a couple of issues.
Yeah, we actually had a lot of issues during our practice session on Wednesday. We were still having low fuel pressure up top, which was causing the car to lean out all through practice. So we did a lot to try to figure that out with like wiring and fuel pumps, and we actually didn't solve the fuel pressure issue until my last practice run right before qualifying. And because I'm from Florida, I don't get to come out here and practice this track. So I still feel like with that new outer zone, I'm still trying to find where the best places are to put my car on track. So I'm getting more comfortable, but I still feel like I need more practice.
Well, thank you so much. We'll see you get more practice at top 16. Kelsey, thanks, guys.
All right, well, Kelsey, I appreciate your honesty and transparency, and good luck to you. Like she said, not feeling the most confident, but you know what? Sometimes that'll push you, right? You're kind of like, all right, well, you know what? If it's not all working, just sometimes you just got to find that special secret sauce.
You could have fooled us, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Well, again, just here we go. So GT Radio Top 32. Do we have a winner? Sam Magmami, Tyler Foley. Look at that. Foley gets 1 and 2 votes. So Tyler Foley gets the victory. Robbie, throw on your headset there, bud. We're going to talk to one of our judges. Yeah, that was unanimous. And you know what? After looking at it again, side by side, Magmami on initiation, really lacking the angle on that first inside clip. Robbie, go ahead. Just put it on and you talk into that microphone, bud. There you go.
All right. So we were looking closely because the same thing happened to Foley in the chase position at the end of the track where he had a huge correction. He had the left foot brake and it looked like he fully straightened, but we can't prove that was fully straightened from what we can see, and we had to count that as a very, very shallow move. So once again, we're going to go with the chase vehicle. Magmami when he was in the chase position, that was a huge mistake he made at the inside clip 1 area, and he also had to steer in. So it's almost like a reinitiation. So that's a bigger mistake that he made. So we all went with Foley.
All right, so there it is. So Foley gets the win. Thank you, Robbie, for explanation there. We got Farouk Kawai and Trevor Root. Let's see how these two gentlemen manage. Yesterday in qualifying, 12th for Farouk and 21st for Trevor Root. Again, Farouk will lead.
That's cool. Like you're saying, the variety of vehicles here. We got a couple hybrids up here.
Yeah.
Not a traditional sense, but
you mean Frankenstein kind of builds?
Yeah.
I know what you meant by hybrids, basically manufacturer engines. Yeah, so mismatching. Here we go. So Farouk out front, that Ineos Oil S chassis. And then we got the BMW of Root. Oh, in that inside clip, Root takes it out. Now coming into that second outside zone, Farouk. Little hesitation there, initiating. Oh, and Farouk goes way off. That's going to be 3 tires off. He does re-enter, but that's going to definitely hurt him. Trevor Root continues on. And again, you saw Farouk maybe with that hesitation, he needed to throw more at it. He just threw too much at it, and that's why he went off. So that's definitely unfortunate. You can see how much dirt was being thrown up, and I saw you signal the.
I was counting the wheels when they go 1, 2, 3. I think he said. I don't know if I got to 4 or not, but I got to hand it to him for giving us a show even after the fact. You know, some guys might just shut it down here, but Root here, like, he almost straightened out there to begin with. I mean, they might be critiquing that as maybe an incomplete in the chase before the lead. We can talk about that later, but here we go. Farouk and Root going into the outer zone 3. That's probably the best part of this run here is outer zone 3, where they made the least amount of mistakes here. Looking at it from the eye in the sky here, Farouk and Root taking out that inner clip. He was about 2 wheels off there to begin with, so that's deficit number 1 here. Almost a straightening out there. Another mistake there. Farouk, there's 1, 2, and 3 big ones. Well, I don't know if that front left might have been still on there. We'll have to talk to the judge about that a little later, so it might be a really huge deficit or an incomplete. We'll have to find out here as they get through outer zone 3 into the finish here. So let's turn it and reverse it. Let them run the second time. Yeah. Look at that one. Oh, yeah, that was straight. Yeah.
And you even saw the car correct because that front left had to re-enter the conversation and so that I think he got off not easy, but it could have been way more violent, you know, re-entering onto the track. But definitely have to. Let's look our crew checking it out. Thank you to our hardworking Formula Drift staff. Thank you to UMC, Terry and the gang. Thank you so much for having us out here, Utah Motorsports Campus. At one point, the longest racetrack in the world, just superseding Road America. I believe Road America paved a little bit longer to try to get that back, but longest track in the States. And then now, spring.
Sorry, we might be taking a competition timeout.
No, I've seen Trevor pull up.
Oh. Reversed it on me.
Yeah.
I thought he was on the other side of the start arch.
Yeah, exactly.
My bad.
So Trevor Root up there to the start line. And Farouk making his way back to the start line. Maybe he's calling comp time now. He's kind of crawling his way back. Got the blowers out there, cleaning up outside zone 2.
Yeah, kind of thinking about that run here. Thinking if Farouk had a fairly decent lead up until that point, but I'm thinking about Root's chase. If he could have cleaned that up, you know, if he moves on, he's gonna have to learn from this run if he does move on and kind of clean things up in that chase position, because besides Farouk's mistake there was a lot of little mistakes that Root had prior to that going off course.
Yep, and just as I expected, Farouk is calling a competition timeout. Maybe inspect the vehicle, doesn't want to risk it. Why not? He does. So, all right, well, as that NGK competition timeout is being called, Lorette, you got the Drift Wizard down there. What kind of sorcery he's got up his sleeve?
Well, absolutely with the Drift Wizard down here, and he's just cool and calm, collected, relaxed, and we were just talking about, we know what's happening here today, we know what it's coming down to, and you said you had set a couple of goals for yourself this year, and do you feel like you've achieved those?
I believe so. Yeah, this year was basically to improve my tandem game because last year we were just not up to par with I believe like the Pro 1 level of tandem. So this year was just a balance of improving my tandem game, improving the car, and improving our team so that we can move on to Pro 1 next year and do well and come out of the gate swinging.
Right. And on Wednesday, your car suffered a pretty hard knock. How's it running?
It's running great. We got hit in the passenger side front, broke a shock, got everything fixed. The crew got it all back together. We got it realigned with the help of OC Mobile alignment, and we're good to go. Car's driving great.
Andy, thank you so much. Guys?
Thanks, Lorette. We got Jeff Donati and Nathan Chen warming up their tires here to get on the other side of the top 32. Jeff Donati qualifying second. He was putting down some really smooth runs yesterday in qualifying. Nate Chen, he had to had an incomplete and made up for it, and he just got in here qualifying 31st, so kind of unusual for Chen. So it'll be a very interesting battle because these guys are definitely big contenders. Max waiting to send these guys off into battle here as we count down, and it sounds like we're going to be sending them very soon.
Jeff Donati, he had a great qualifying run yesterday, qualifying number 2 against Nate Chen, who he's got a first-hand look at success. You know, he spots for Kazuya Taguchi, and I think that's really helped kind of elevate his program as well. So I would love to, just being in the headset, finding out how, because they have identical car, not identical, excuse me, I digress. Kazuya's got the VR. He's running the LS, I believe, right? Isn't he? Yeah. Yep. So, again, Nate Chen currently 4th in the standings, 115 points out. So could slide into 3rd if he advances on, and Rudy Hansen falls where he may. So it could slide up, top 3 maybe. That is TBD for Nate Chen. But right now, Jeff Donati is, again, qualified 2nd, so he knows how to perform on this track. Let's see what Donati throws down here, initiates good approach on that inside clip, and Donati can see the attitude of the vehicle thrown to the outside zone. Oh boy, here comes Nate Chen. Surges in attack. He actually backs off, gets into the dirt. He gets squirrely in the dirt. Now Donati, like I said, 2nd, number 2 qualifier. And that's exactly what he needed to do. Nate in that chase position, you saw him just kind of up, down, left, right. He was kind of all over the place. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like Nate's been kind of battling grip issues and just having too much because it's not suiting his style. He likes that high-speed grip. So Donati painting a beautiful picture for Nate to follow here. And Nate kind of went a little too deep here in Outer Zone 2 as Jeff just kind of on his merry way there through Outer Zone 2. Nate's trying to make up the ground here, but it's just too little too late as Donati just hangs out, adds a little left foot brake, and looking super smooth. That's exactly what his qualifying run was, and it shows because he obviously qualified number 2, and I think that's almost an identical run. If we can't get a side-by-side of that, but I mean, that was pretty darn close here, and Chen's going to have to do something pretty fantastic in the lead run against Donati here to really get the needle to waver his way, so it'll be very interesting.
Luke, aka Formula Dread, watching, gives us a little shout out.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
up, Luke?
It's been a minute since I've seen him.
Yeah, man. Chilling with his dog, watching some Casual Friday. So Donati, you can see just how dialed he was there. We got the Jerry Yang Racing Camp. Jerry Yang and the team cheering him on. They, I know they work on Nick Novak's vehicle as well, so
yep,
pretty busy over there in that camp. And of course, Kazuya Taguchi.
Yeah, so what do you do as a chase driver in here? Your spotter tells you kind of got an advantage here at this point. So let's maybe pump it back a half a notch.
Yeah,
keep your presence
smooth.
Keep your presence, and just watch what he's doing, and try not to mess up.
Yeah, well, you don't need to be on that back bumper. Give yourself a car space, because given where Nate's kind of little wild child in that chase position, that could indicate that he's maybe not as comfortable, with this track, or maybe just the case is that you know, he wasn't comfortable in the chase position. So therefore, just keep it smooth, keep it tidy. That way it's kind of no news is good news, right? Not like all over the place. And maybe you're forcing an error from that lead car that does have maybe a little bit of pressure here. So I wouldn't say the needle's exactly Richter towards Jeff Donati, but I would say that he was really smooth up front and just didn't have any striking, again, blaring mistakes out front. So here we go, Nate Chen, he's got the clean air. Let's see how he does and manages out front with Jeff Donati in his rearview mirror. Jeff, a little slow to launch there into that inside clip. Nate barely taps it, Jeff Donati explodes it into the second outside zone, and that's kind of what I was talking about there. Oh, see, and then he applied the pressure and had to back off, so that's what I'm talking about. You don't need to ride shotgun with them. And there goes Jeff. And maybe, yeah, and there Nate shuts it down. So, again, not as kind of all over the place, but Jeff still kind of leaving the judge's hands.
Yeah, he didn't hit any dirt. He kept it within the boundaries here versus Chen's chase run. So that's one thing he's got going for him. I did like his initiation. It was a little late to the party, but he kept the pressure there a little bit early, knocking out our inner clip one. Chen keeping there deep there. Really like this transition. It wasn't as aggressive in like how Chen had to catch up, but this is where you really had to sacrifice a lot of line here. Decent transition in the mimic there. Chen could have been a little deeper, as he does get a little deeper in our zone 3, but then Donati sacrificing a lot of angle there to maintain proximity in outer zone 3.
Watch it again. So what happens to Jeff on this transition going to outside zone 1 to 2? He's close to him. You see him bobble.
Yeah.
You see him like, oh no, I'm gonna, and that just threw him off. Because now the car grips up, shoots on the inside.
You're right.
And he's stranded. You know, Nate Chen's already out there, and that sets him up for failure on the outside zone 3. Shoots in on the inside, so the car grips up and just does not get it back out there.
Yeah, we always talk about that razor edge of finding the grip, and like you can hear these engines. We got an open tower up here, and you can kind of hear them, especially in qualifying, and bog down in the outer zone 3. And I feel like Jeff's car was perfectly set up for the lead run. Maybe they should have bumped up a couple pounds in the tires to get this chase, but they can't do that in between. But
right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. If I had to say anything, I'd give him one more shot at it.
Okay. Let's take a look at our BC Racing Go for Gold side by side. And I'm seeing the crew on the start line throw out some solvent, a little bit of fluids on start.
Yeah, so you can see Jeff's proximity there, getting into outer zone 1, and you see that little bobble in the transition. It kind of transpired into outer zone 2. But Chen here, does he have a bigger deficit in the chase run versus cutting a line in Jeff? Like, we got two different mistakes in the same spot, so it's really going to be up to the judges on what they factor as like a cleaner chase run. And my most humble of opinions, I think keeping it together and sacrificing that line is a little better route to take than overcooking it.
Yeah, it depends on really where the judges are at, and they're obviously judging all the same criteria, scrutinizing the head-to-head, but line versus proximity, where do you lean towards, you know?
Yeah,
I would say line, and I would say just pocket. You know, you want to see them close, but if you're just close and you have no angle, I don't want that. That's trash.
Well, here's another scenario. Like, let's say we're at a different course where there's a wall on that. Chen would have been in a whole different ballgame there. So
there we are in the cockpit of Nate Chen. GT Radio top 32. Slide him left for Donati or right for Nate Chen. Looks like Donati gets the win. So Donati gets the win. And Lantain, if you can't throw on your headset there real quick, Ryan, elaborate, if you will, on Jeff Donati. Unanimous here, talking about, and bringing up the question, line versus proximity, where are you guys leaning towards, and elaborate on Donati's victory?
There were quite a few mistakes from both drivers, but in terms of proximity, Jeff Donati had more of it. He did have to take some tighter lines in some areas to achieve it. Unfortunately, Nate Chen did have his tire drop in outside zone 1 as well. And it looked like Jeff really had an advantage just in a couple of little areas, but it was enough considering the amount of mistakes from both drivers.
All right, so, and you talked about, you said Nate had that tire drop. That was when he led, so that could basically throw Donati off. Yep, all right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you to our judges, Brian, Ryan, and Robbie. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll continue here with the final round, round 4 of the Link Engine Management ProSpec Champion. Chip, we will crown champion here today.
just outside of Salt Lake City. This is playing host not only to round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, but this is round 4, the final round of the Link Engine Management ProSpec Championship.
To see him in to our top 32. Oh, look at that, pulling that front right off. Looking way more settled than he was in that first run. Ooh, clean air. More performance putting him up there, and check it out, big angle. Stuckey wasn't focusing on him, but saw a little twitch in that chase position. Now coming into that second outside zone. First outside zone, transitioning into the second outside zone. Frederick Osmo with the goal. Oh, knocks him out, throws some more angle on it. Chelsea stays in it. Holy cow. With the assist on the drift. Chelsea and Nova staying in it. You saw Osmo come from the rear, a little gravel being thrown up. I have never seen
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
For 30 Formula Drift teams, our professional Tire Stacks crew will mount over 1,000 tires during a weekend to keep our drivers on track, competing at the highest level. TireStacks.com, the official tire service of Formula Drift.
Rockstar Energy gets me energized so I can go out and send it. Hustle on.
All right, we are halfway through.
Yeah, technically.
I mean, technically and literally. We have.
Well, we still got half. Yeah.
Well, no, we're halfway through.
Go ahead.
I remember my first event.
Oh, goodness.
There we go. See? Look at that. We got 8 drivers already in the top 16.
I'm slow smart, okay?
DJ's smiling at you right now, too. That's all good. It's all good. I'm taking the piss, as they say. I've been hanging out with a lot of Brits lately. So, all right. So we got Farouk Kawai and Trevor Root. The second half of that battle, if you can remember, Farouk got 3 wheels off. He called his NGK competition timeout. Speaking of NGK, as they warm up their tires, NGK, you know spark plugs. Yeah. Do spark plugs timeout? Yes, they do. And timely spark plug replacement is crucial. It not only prevents fouling, it provides the best engine performance. It ensures less repair time, can save you money on unnecessary repairs. So visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn more about why NGK is the ignition specialist. Here's the second half. Trevor Root. Root was not on fire. But Farouk Kawai again. He needs to really show up here, Trevor Root. He's going to have that clean air. He's out front, but Farouk is going to apply the pressure. He's going to try to force an error on Trevor Root. Great looking car. Love the E36 into that second outside zone. Here goes Farouk. He's gripping up, taking that shallower line. Pedal Commander. New performance.
Nice.
Into that last outside zone. Trevor Root. Farouk dives in. Gotta love Farouk, but unfortunately, mistake there on that first run, and then just shallower line. Trevor Root looks like he is going to be getting it done.
And that's all it takes, that one mistake that Farouk had. He had a really banger chase run there, man. That was a good one.
Brian's looking at me. What do you need? Taking a look at it here again.
Yeah, check it out here. Look at that. Farouk just he was almost within a car length this entire run here. Awesome transition here, going in outer zone 2. I really like the pressure he applied, sacrificing a line just a little bit there, and he was just in that pocket. That's where we want him in there.
Right
I love this transition here too. Woo! He was almost a little too wide, but that's where you want to be, because by the time you transition and get that car rotated, it's going to be right where you want it to in the pocket. It did lose a little bit more proximity in the outer zone 3, but he kept the pressure on. But let's check out Root's lead run here. Let's focus on that a little more. Awesome filling of the outer zone 1, doing all his responsibility. You know he has an advantage, so now maybe that's why the pressure's off and the run is on. So he is definitely on point here. That was a very good lead run for Root, for Farouk to chew on. But now it's a moot point, so let's judges are looking a little closer to the monitor here, so maybe there's something I'm missing.
Farouk or Root? The judges are saying Trevor Root might have debeated. Does that impede, and what kind of ruling are we looking at here? Does that impede onto Farouk?
It's a
second run, so it's not an issue. I'm just saying, we talk about hood, hats, doors open, roofs flying off, all hood pins, pin it to win it. I mean, Chelsea even made a shirt out of that, and some controversy earlier this year, and all. So again, not an issue.
Not an issue. He completed the run. Good on him. So
all right, so here we go, Farouk and Trevor Root, and Trevor Root will get the win. Again, an aggressive chase run there by Farouk, but Trevor Root is advancing on. Farouk just unfortunately with that mistake on that first run, that's going to hurt him, and he had a bit of an uphill battle, but Trevor Root, I am Root, gets it done. All right, with some more advancement and beautiful day, and all right, looks like we got moving on to our next battle. We'll catch up with Lorette Nickel in just a little bit. All right, so moving on to our next battle, you can see Dustin Miles and Cody Buchanan. Dustin Miles qualified 15th, Buchanan 18th, so fairly equally matched. Miles and Buchanan making the trip from Georgia and North Dakota.
Yeah, Miles was having some engine issues right up until I think this morning. They finally dialed it in. A
Really?
lot of bogging issues. I was talking to a spotter this morning, and he was saying they replaced coil packs and fuel pumps and fuel injectors, and now the thing is sounding sweet. We got the 2J under the hood now. We had a 1J, I think, back in Atlanta. They swapped it out, and it was ready to rip.
Here we go, Dustin Miles, Cody Buchanan. Miles out front, Buchanan in the chase position. Miles goes, initiates. Let's throw some more angle at it there. Yeah, a little inquisitive there, but like you said, might have to go see the doctor. And you see Buchanan there, lacking the angle. Now throw some more. And so both these guys just really need to get that degree of angle going. Both tip for tat on that last outside zone. Buchanan dives into the inside. Miles deeper on that last outside zone. So again, at this top speed, there's that compromisation of when you're at speed, and if the car grips up and doesn't have that angle, it's going to be blaringly obvious to us and of course the judges.
So look at this initiation here. I want to look at Miles's front tire. So we got it. Did they come back around? Okay, so it might have been an illusion I wasn't seeing, but just check it out here. Good transition here from both boys here. Coming in through outer zone 2. Buchanan putting on the pressure there in outer zone 2. Miles doing a great job of doing his lead responsibility. Awesome mimic transition by Buchanan. He got into that pocket, but then it kind of started to fall apart for him. He got a little too surging ahead, not where you want to be in the chase position, but very solid lead run from Miles there. Giving Buchanan a great opportunity to give him a good chase here as both guys get real close to the interclip 1 transition here. Buchanan, one of the better transitions going in outer zone 2. Cuts the line, just a whisper of a wish there as we get through outer zone 2. Buchanan still putting that pressure, just wants to keep encroaching on that pocket where he probably shouldn't be. We don't want him front bumper to front bumper. We want him more like bumper to door as far as the chase car goes. Good first run by both guys. Let's switch it around. Interested to see how we do when we switch roles.
Yeah, like you said, Miles that failure to launch and throw some more angle at it. And what were you expecting with that front wheel, you said?
Well, yeah, because he has like different colored wheels on
Yeah.
both sides. So when we got another look at it, I thought it counter-steered the opposite.
Like kind of opposite drift.
But then when we looked at Eye in the Sky,
Not the case.
Not the case. So.
Yeah, the pink that you saw, that front pink wheel.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
I think I saw it through the car.
I get it. And that's what I love. And like I've kind of trained my vernacular here to say like that's what I saw at that point. Let's take a look at the replay. You know, again, sometimes not the prettiest. I get chastised on some backwards entries by one Mad Mike, and gosh, I can't say anything wrong. You know, just got to be absolutely spot on, and that's why you roll the tape. You know, in football, we're getting a call from New York right now. You know, like right. So we don't have that capability, but we do have Sean Adriano over here who has 6 different angles, scrubbing it to go backwards, forward. And here we go. So Buchanan now out front, Dustin Miles in that chase position. Here goes Buchanan, initiates Miles. Now, again, looks like Buchanan, really good initiation there by that SRD Nissan Z into that second outside zone. Buchanan filling it. Miles does have the angle, but Buchanan, you can see how deep he is. And out of that final outside zone, Miles with Styles, but you saw him delay again once into that transition. So Buchanan a lot more comfortable, and that might be highlighting why Buchanan was struggling in that chase position when you're, again, going against a vehicle that's going to throw you off. But Buchanan looks very comfortable up front.
It's a little more high-strung. I really like Miles' aggression here in the chase position. I thought I was going to set the precedence, but he just couldn't quite close the gap from here on out. He was doing a good job staying in the line, which I really can appreciate, but he just needed to reel him in. I think there's maybe a little bit of a horsepower war here. The both boosted cars were at an elevation, but Buchanan laying down a really good lead run, but Miles just didn't have the ponies to perk it up and put it in the pocket. So here we go, another look at the Eye in the Sky here. Miles, like I said, did a great job here. Buchanan doing all the responsibilities that he needs to do in the lead position as he go into outer zone 2. Never comes out of it, keeps some tires in there. Miles looks like he's putting on the pressure here as much as he can, maintaining his angle and as much proximity as he can with his machine. So here we go in outer zone 3. Buchanan saying, see ya, I'll see you next year, maybe.
Yeah, that's truly it. You know, this is a culmination of, and every round counts. You know, I think I posed the question, was it to you? I said, would you rather do 4 rounds of PROSPEC or 8 rounds of Pro? And you know, the conundrum there is, yes, it's only 4 rounds, but it's only 4 rounds, meaning that, you know, logistically and budgetary wise, 4 rounds is going to be easier, again, logistically and monetary wise. But as far as championship, every battle counts. Not, you know,
it's weighted more.
Yeah, it's more pressure. It's concentrated, right? So we're taking a look at our BC Racing go for gold side by side.
Yeah, so you can see here, Buchanan didn't have the pressure on early on like Miles did, but then he slowly reeled him in. You might have been onto something with that horsepower and being more comfortable with having a little faster car. He did sacrifice the line about. So now looking at side by side, you start to remember some things that you might have forgotten. Is Buchanan's cut there? He cut in outer zone 2 and in 3. Is that going to be more of a desfit than Miles's lack of proximity, but he kept in line? That's a very good question that only the judges can answer.
Okay, the judges scrutinizing the scores, scrutinizing the runs, and therefore getting a score, I should say. All right, so again, judges really analyzing these runs, and you brought up that great point, kind of how soon you forget of Buchanan going in and taking a look by comparison to that. So we'll wait for the scores. Let's throw it out to Lorette Nickel. Lorette.
Well, I was so excited to catch up with Tyler Foley, and he is, of course, in his rookie season, so the first time that he's here at Salt Lake. But my goodness, even though you're advancing into the top 16, you have not made it easy for yourself.
No, it's been a battle. We've battled the car being too gripped up. We were struggling with line, couldn't fill the zones. We loosened it up. Then we had fuel pumps fail, so we were breaking up all practice this morning. Fixed the fuel pump, went out, got a really good lap in. Car was loose. We filled all the zones, probably our best lap of the day. And then coming across the finish, I dropped the right rear in the dirt, and we split a wheel in half. So it was like the Cosmos wheel, literally Grow Color design. Didn't have to change the alignment, so we literally slapped the tire on, got back up, and got ready for top 32, and just, you know, we're confident with that lap we put down, so it was a huge confident booster. And, you know, we just went out and just tried to be aggressive first thing off entry and just stay on as much as we could, and it paid off. So.
Amazing. Yeah, so look at this wheel. Crazy what you've done. And so in his rookie season, this is the first time that he advances into the top 16. He said that his goal is, of course, the top step of the podium, but he's going for the grade 8. Guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette, and thank you and congratulations, Tyler Foley. Verdicts are in. Dustin Miles, Buchanan. It looks like Dustin Miles gets the victory, 2-1. So one more time there from Robbie Nishida. And again, we'll break that down, but Dustin Miles gets the victory. And yeah.
So without talking to him directly here, I feel like they awarded the Miles' line in the chase. I think they had very similar lead runs. It's just that chase might have been more composed because Miles didn't really have wavering. It was just that he couldn't catch up, you know?
Yep. Okay. I want to talk to the judges about that one. All right, so moving on to our next battle, Alex Jaeger versus Jack Davis. Jaeger qualifying 7th, Davis qualifying 26th. So Alex Jaeger here in Nissan 370Z, the NOS energy drink vehicle. Initiated into that inside clip. Let's see where Jaeger is. Overshoots it a little bit. Now into that outside zone 1. Jaeger on a tear. Absolutely dominant right now. And Davis taking a shallower line. You can see struggling to hang with Alex. It's that last outside zone. Absolutely dialed.
Dang.
So that was just an absolute dominant performance there by Alex Jaeger.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where Davis could have made up ground. Yeah, I think it was just in the beginning because Jaeger was flying, my goodness. So, yeah, look at this run up here. He's already got a few car lengths between him, and then he kind of overshoots that.
Football field.
Yeah, and after that, you cannot complain about this run after that little deficit he has with the inner clip 1. Jaeger just looking so comfortable out there. Probably the best lead run we've had in competition today. And Davis just having a heck of a time trying to close the door, cheating lines everywhere. But he was also still not wavering or anything, but he just nothing he could do with that supercharged V8 to catch up to that turbocharged, twin turbocharged V6 under the hood of Jaeger's 370Z here. So it's just a matter of he just had the better line from the get-go, and Davis just had no shot to close the door here on Jaeger. So needle's definitely waving towards Jaeger's side. Let's flip it and reverse it and see what happens with clean air with Davis.
Yep, Davis out front, and this is where, Jaeger, his lady's a spotter in his ear, and this is where you really need to kind of dial it back. We saw how much the horsepower disparity between the two vehicles, right? How Alex pulls away. Is that 100% true? To Jack kind of, maybe a little slow off the line?
Yeah.
But this is where Jaeger needs to, all right, might have this advantage, but this is where you could easily make a mistake, because if he does, therefore, kind of have more horsepower, he could blow it. You know what I mean? He could maybe get too aggressive.
I think I didn't really get to see the actual launch on start to see where that disparity came from. Jaeger just played that chicane right and had an advantage right off the bat.
Well, Jack Davis is going to try to step it up here out front, and Jaeger, see what kind of composure he's gotten in that chase position. Jack Davis past that inside clip into that first outside zone. Here goes Jack Davis, now Jaeger. So now here it is. This is what I'm talking about. What's going on here? Was there something on that first? So we saw Jaeger now taking that inside line, and Jack Davis filling all of it. There is some good proximity there from Alex Jaeger.
So
that's why I'm saying, was that big gap due to Jaeger piecing out on him, Jack having a bad start, perfect storm, or what happened?
I think the first time that Jaeger got behind here, I think was a big smoke. So he's in the middle of the whole thing there. Transitions, he almost straightened out there, Jared. I mean, that'll be another one to look at again. But he does sacrifice a lot of line. But once he does, it's still smooth. He does everything. All of his corrections are kind of smooth. His line isn't the greatest, but he's dealing with that in a really good way in the chase position and not making it look terrible, and he's getting the proximity back, whereas Davis didn't do that at all in the chase. So take another look at it here. He's about a car length behind. He's lost in the smoke here. He had good position. If he just held on to that drift a little longer, I don't think he straightened out. If he just held on to that transition a little longer, he could have been in a better position to fill and be closer in outer zone 2 here. He had a good mimic here, but he also cut the line very severely there. I I just feel like his chase was a little more cleaner because of the proximity gain, and it didn't. Yeah, that's a tough one to call there.
Again, this is line, proximity, angle, all those elements. Where do you put the most weight?
Yeah, that's a good way
right?
to put it.
So,
there. What matters most?
yeah, I absolutely anticipated we were going to see a side-by-side instant replay courtesy of BC Racing.
Perfect.
And here it is again. Jack Davis and Alex Jaeger. So Jaeger leading on the left, Jack on the right.
Yeah, so Jack just kind of had a bad start to get-go, but Jaeger had all the opportunity here. This is where the crux of the situation here is. He was just transitioning far too early, about 50 feet too early, and Jack just could never find the opportunity to reel Jaeger in here. As you can see, Jaeger making up the line there. He had a good transition, but he knew he had to make up ground, and there it is. So.
Yeah, and you talked about that. Just, I mean, Jack wasn't even in the room as far as proximity. You know, just kept the same distance, and you saw Jaeger kind of bounce back and forth. They were both off of the outside zones in the chase position. As far as lead versus lead, chase versus chase, that's what the judges are taking a look at, and then how dominant you are really in that chase position. I think that's going to play a major role.
Yeah, because one of the first words that came out of your mouth of Jaeger's lead run, he was like, it's just absolutely dominated there.
Sure,
Like, if you got to judge from that, no questions. But obviously, we got to reverse the roles and see what they can do in each position. And I feel like Jaeger has a little bit of a leg up on Davis here. So let's see what happens.
Yep, Alex Jaeger and Jack Davis. And it looks like one more time. So they are going at it again at one more time. And again, don't leave it in the judge's hands. There was one judge, Rami Nishida. He sides with Alex Jaeger. So they are going at it again. So Jaeger and Davis will move on to Talaska and Evan Bogovic. Evan Bogovic, he is jumping in Amanda Sorensen's vehicle. Amanda Sorensen in Sardinia right now. She's racing in the Extreme E, an all-EV off-road event. So her and RJ Anderson teaming up for Team America. I know Leah Block is over there as well. Got Timo Schneider. There are some real talent over there in Sardinia. Really cool. So cheering you on, Amanda, flying the FD flag over there. But Bogovic jumping behind the wheel of the BMW. Corey Talaska, again, a lot of BMWs here from Wisconsin. Not BMWs from Wisconsin, but a lot of BMWs, period. And Talaska from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You
Wisconsin,
like,
homie.
yeah, Wisco, bro.
Where all the lakes are named with at least 4 syllables.
Right. I spent a lot of time in Wisconsin, man. I was just there. What? I don't even remember. I can't even keep track. I was just there.
I haven't gone back since moving to Arizona, man. It's wild.
You're good. You're drying out. You're like beef jerky. All right, Corey Talaska will lead. Talaska qualified 10th. Bogovic qualified 23rd. Here we go, Talaska and Bogovic. The pink really brings out your eyes, Bogovic. Here we go, Talaska initiating. It's funny, both colors pink. Here we go, Talaska taking out that inside clip in that first outside zone, and now here comes Bogovic in the chase position. Talaska, great degree of angle. Let's see him in that second outside zone, but now Bogovic transitions, but kind of grips up on the inside, and Talaska out front. Really liked how he executed outside zone 2. Bogovic is trying to catch him up.
Yeah, I feel like whoever can master the outer zone 1 to 2 in the chase position is really going to have the golden ticket here. So look at Bogovic. He's kind of got a late start here. Falls behind right away through outer zone 2. Transitions where he needs to. It's a complete drift, but it's just too short in that chase position. Talaska looking super comfortable out front. Smoke pouring out of that BMW as he makes a nice smooth arc into outer zone 3. Bogovic still in frame, still in the fight, but is it going to be enough? Let's switch it to the eye in the sky. You can see Bogovic kind of pulled that handbrake a little early. I think he should put it on the sauce a little more later. And Talaska out front there, filling the zone immediately, doing all his responsibilities as the lead driver. As Bogovic trying to reel him in, he just cannot come up with the sauce here to make a happy kitchen here in the Bogovic camp, as he just is completely out of zone 3 and pulling angle, doing everything he can to catch up to Talaska here. Just not enough. Nice little shot here through outer zone 2 as we going to switch these guys around and see what happens.
Good aggressive line by Talaska out front. All right, so again, Evan Bogovich's wife up here in his headset. The United States Force BMW, Corey Talaska E36. Let's see. Talaska and Bogovich now. Bogovich will lead, Talaska giving chase. Let's see what Bogovich can do out front. And through the start chicane, here we go, Bogovich. Kind of initiation we got. Out to the marker strips, tries to tighten it up to the inside clip. Both of them fairly similar line, and here goes Bogovich in that second outside zone. Talaska, he shoots it on the inside, Bogovich. But Talaska, really good proximity. Let's see how they handle this. This could be kind of turning the knife, or what's gonna happen here? Uh-oh. Ooh, look at that. So Talaska, you saw him get at it, but then has to back off. These guys are just getting aggressive and just like ease into it. Don't just, you know.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
When
when
it's
you
going to be that kind of party, I'm going to stick my BMW in the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, we'll get back to that out of zone 3. He might have straightened out there before the finish in the chase position, but here, Bogovich is looking a little more comfortable out front with the clean air, and Talaska just about straightening up there. He had to grab a little handbrake to keep it, maintain the drift. He does reel him in here. Bogovich not as deep in outer zone 2, but Talaska keeping the pressure on here, and transitions a little early. You see that anticipate, kind of had to like throw the car back in. Now, when you get in that inner line there, the car is going slower ground speed, and so it's a little harder for these cars that are so gripped up to keep those tires fired off to maintain the drift. So taking a look at the sky here, Bogovich, like I said, looking much more comfortable. Talaska, he's got his timing off, I feel. The car's capable, he's capable. I just feel like with the smoke and everything else, he just can't get the timing quite perfect in the chase position here. You can see him take that inner line through outer zone 3. Let's take a look here. Does he straighten up before the finish? Oh, that was close. I would not want to make that call.
With it.
Woo.
All right, so, all right. Do we have a verdict? We got him in. Corey Talaska, Evan Bogovich. We got 1 vote for Bogovich, 2 votes. Evan Bogovich gets the win unanimously. Bogovich gets the win and advances on with the update down in the pits before we move on to our next battle. Lorette, let's cook in, homegirl.
Well, we get some spicy dishes down here, Jared, and Dustin Miles here moving into the top 16. Qualifying lap was your first lap out on the track. What was happening with the car?
Well, it actually wasn't the first lap on the track. We had been battling issues through practice, and qualifying was the first lap that we were able to complete the track with the car without it breaking up. And we ended up having a bad coil or a coil pack. We changed the both of them, and the car started working. We were able to get the tune dialed in for this elevation, and man, we got a race car now.
And that smile on your face says that you're so happy with how it's running now.
Yes, I am pumped. I got more power and wheel speed than I know what to do with right now. I gotta dial that in.
All right, well, while Dustin's gonna dial that in, we'll see him in the top 16. Jared.
Get it.
Thanks, Lorette. I believe we're going to go back to the one more time battle of Jaeger and Davis. Taking another look at this beautiful Utah landscape in our top GT Radial Top 32. And I'm corrected here, we're going to go through Josh Love and Matthew Bystrack. Josh Love taking a step down from pro, and he's going to the PROSPEC this season. Matthew Bystrack in his hatch S13 with the 2J under the hood. Let's line them up. They're lined up. Max is ready to send them off here very shortly. Go ahead to send them. Max is going to get these guys ready, turn on the lights. Once they extinguish, we're ready to party. And they're off.
And here we go with our next battle. Taking a look. Looks like Mr. Josh Love definitely throwing down the end qualifying position. We got Bystrack. Goes for that inside flip. Josh Love. Big angle for Josh Love. Gets out to the German. Love overshooting it. Great qualified position, but Bystrack down into that last outside zone. These guys are having one heck of a good time. It seemed like that was a wild, like, run and gun.
Yeah, I feel like Bystrack had a fighting chance there going into the outer zone 2. Let's take another look at here. Josh whipping that BMW into the inner clip 1. Nice proximity there. Takes a little chunk out of it. Bystrack, he was in the right position at the right time here. Whoa, threw a whole bunch of angle in there. Look at that. But if he didn't do that, there might have been a collision there potentially, but Josh Love, I think there was only 2 tires off. Bystrack keeps his composure in the chase position, reels him back into outer zone 3. The pressure on there. A few little mistakes here and there in the lead position, but let's take another look in the eye in the sky here as Josh Love pitches it in. Give that little inner clip a little boop. Bystrack actually nowhere present in outer zone 1 now. We can look at it from this angle. You can see that the car kind of gripped up, losing its momentum, but Josh Love's mistake there kind of giving a little new opportunity, new life in the chase position as they try to reel him back in. He's very shallow in the outer zone 3 here as he tries to put on more pressure on Josh Love's door. So looking at this beauty shot of the outer zone 2 that's just coming in there. You can see him kind of grip up there, but throwing and following. Let's reverse the roles here as after Josh takes a little piece of the desert with him, going in outer zone 3. Bystrack, you can kind of see the car dive down in there, front end as he gets through outer zone 3 and on the way to the finish there. So let's give Bystrack some clean air. Josh Love will give chase and see what happens.
All right, so yeah, that was aggressive, man. We're hearing some of our spotters, pretty Ricky Hoffman over here. Let's go, let's leave. Getting all excited. I don't even know who you got your own team. Who are you working with? Oh, okay. See, I don't even know. He's just promoting himself up here.
He's
like,
an FD driver. Ricky, you're so fine.
All right, so Bystrack leading, Joshua Love giving chase. This is bragging rights. This is going to be fun here. Let's see what Bystrack can do out front. Joshua Love in the chase position. Here goes Bystrack initiating. Joshua Love, again, he qualified well, but can he produce here in this chase position? Bystrack gets to outside zone 1, now transition to outside zone 2. Big angle there from Bystrack, really holding on to it. See, again, throwing more angle at it, gripped up, shot on the inside. That's going to throw off Josh Love, but Bystrack, see, this is what I'm talking about. What are you doing?
Oh, no.
That's shut her down. What you doing, Bystrack? He threw more angle at it, grips up, shoots on the inside. Zero chill. It's Formula Drift, not Formula Drive straight.
What'd you do to him, Ricky?
Yeah, Ricky got too hyped, dude. He already had the cake made and everything.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a mechanical issue or what, but it seemed to bog on. Let's take a look at Bystrack out front here from the Air Force replay. Josh Love kind of sacrificing angle, but he's also matching Bystrack to the lack of angle. You can see, I don't know what happened there. Bystrack decided to throw angle about 30% of the way in the outer zone 2. He was looking pretty until it wasn't. Josh Love doing a really good job adapting to this little less than stellar chase run of Bystrack here as he gripped up there. Loving an explanation of what happened there exactly, but we may never know. So,
well, I got to tell you, Bystrack was definitely a force, but unfortunately he overcooked it. Gripped up, grip it, rip it, and strip it. He is out, but Joshua Love advances on. So instead of let's go, let's leave. There we go. So
pack it in, pack it up.
So pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. All right, so we still have Jaeger and Davis. And right now it's Love that advances on. That's a few more battles left. Again, 3 that were initially intended. That's Rahimi versus Illingworth. D-Mats, Derek Madison versus Cole Richards. Austin Mata versus Daniel Mavasio.
Did you see what happened to Human yesterday?
Oh.
So that's kind of a cool story.
He bit his car, right?
Oh my goodness, he counted himself out. And he came back, team got his car together, and he ripped one heck of a qualifying.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing.
And that's what Stuckey said. Again, I always reference it. We're going back to the one more time. That is Jaeger and Davis. They were the judges both. It wasn't unanimous. It wasn't unanimous. It was 2-1. Robbie Nishida said Alex Jaeger got the win, but majority rules. So. That's what Stuckey talked about, Human Rahimi. He goes, and it's perfect example of what Stuckey, his testimonial said in the Outer Zone podcast with Jacob. He says, Human just is fun to watch because he could just go 100 and then come back and like make some mistakes or just absolutely show up. And again, bidding the car, right? This is writing it off, just almost writing it off, obviously. Works hard and then throws down a heat of a run. And that's an absolute testimonial to the passion that runs through Human Rahimi's, him and his program.
Yeah, I don't see many batteries getting punctured and damaged in crashes, but
oh,
that was
battery?
the first thing. His battery took a bite out of a crime.
Well, good thing you got anti-gravity here in the pits, and you know, I'm sure there's a few Optimas rolling around, Odysseys. All right, so here we go, back to the one more time run between these two gentlemen. Alex Jaeger, look at that. Davis, see that?
Davis is down on power, I was told. I forgot.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, so Jack Davis down on power, so Alex Jaeger could reap the rewards. So timing it, and again, as the chase car, you are, oh no, Jaeger! Way offline, that's gonna be incomplete. What happened to Jaeger?
Abandoned ship.
And Jack Davis continues on, but look at, I mean,
well, now
but yeah, it's shut down.
Right.
That's it, with the lead car shutting her down.
With
Jack Davis didn't need to complete his run. There's Josh Love. There we are with Josh Love, giving the fist bumps. Oh, wow, what happened there?
Yeah, maybe we can take another look. Maybe the car just, the front end might look like it might have washed out, or, yeah, that's a tough break for Jaeger there. Wow.
Yeah, when he went to go initiate it, just fights back.
So he's taking the Davis to Gaffleys here, right? We got 1, 2 car lengths. Boom, here we go. Flick it in. Handbrake, handbrake, handbrake. Front end washed out. He left foot brake, front end washed out. That's as much as I can see from this angle. And then Davis is on his merry way. All right, so taking a little look. Handbrake, handbrake. He's back on the throttle, and then the front locks up, and that's the end of that run. So that's truly unfortunate.
Yeah, there's so many things that could have gone wrong there. So we'll find out.
Yeah, because there's so much rubber down on this track, and like I feel like if you just make an input too hard, that it'll come back and bite you just like that.
Yeah. And yeah, once the lead car shuts it down, the chase car can't shut it down. But now here's where it gets interesting. You're talking about Jack Davis you got some communique from his team saying he's down on power. This is where it gets interesting for Davis out front, and also Alex in the chase position trying to chase him down. This is the scenario of treading lightly, but now I believe Alex is really going to try to force an error of Jack Davis, and that way it could potentially go one more time. So it's still not over for Jake. I talk about scenarios, bro. That's my job, okay?
It's not over till it's
by
over.
The spotters. I don't know if you know, but I've been doing this for almost 20 years. We're good.
It's kind of a big deal.
Almost. Well, again, the culmination, 19 point. I aged myself. I'm 44 years old. My back can attest to it. So Jack Davis will be leading. Alex Jaeger chasing him down. We're finding out. Looks like we're going to rip off that back bumper on that Nissan Z. But again, the scenario's unfolding. We are hearing that. Congratulations. While we got a moment here, Cole Richards is your Rookie of the Year with Buchanan losing. So Cole Richards, Rookie of the Year in the Link Engine Management ProSpec Championship. The young buck that won in New Jersey, rocking that CoroWorks 86 BR 80Z.
What do we call that? The 8RZ?
Yeah, 8RZ. It's just, yeah. So Cole Richards gets Rookie of the Year. So while we got a beat, share the love with us, Lorette.
Jared, you're the best at that. He said that we're sharing the love, and that's exactly what we're doing. Congratulations moving forward. How has this season been for you?
It's been good. I mean, it's definitely taken a step back from pro back to ProSpec. It wasn't the ideal situation, but definitely making the best of it. Learning a new team dynamic and just having a lot of fun. And I think the more fun we have, the better we do. So.
And do you feel like you're adjusting well to this Salt Lake City track?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I love this track a lot. I mean, just being out here, the vibes of it, the aesthetic is just amazing. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. We're going to send the love back up to Jared and to Matt. Guys?
Can you feel the love tonight? Yeah, that's and again, I know Josh loves Grateful Dead, so I'm cool with that too. All right, so let's see what we got here.
Got Love's
taking a look.
Final send-off of the top 32.
Yeah, Bystrack and Love, and back to the line with Jaeger, but our safety truck.
Michael Weber there. He's going to cruise down the run up here. He's going to set any speed records, but
yeah.
Get tucked in.
Let's see how this Tundra initiates in outside zone 1.
And incomplete.
Oh, that was, yeah. Dude, driving straight, bro. So Jaeger needs to really apply the pressure, maybe with Jack supposedly down on power. He needs to, again, just be right there on the back bumper, maybe banging doors, just give it to him from the rear, and just really just keep pounding on it and just see if he can force that mistake for Jack Davis. we'll see what really transpires here. But I mean, he's going to go hard, and he's going to go hard right into the side and the back of Jack, and really try to see if he can force that mistake.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You kind of got to walk that line, Jared.
All right, so here we go. He's no Johnny Cash, no Man in Black. Well, he's black and orange, but Jack Davis into that inside clip. There we go, and there goes Jager, hop, skip, and a jump to the side of Davis, but now in that second outside zone, and now look at it, shuts it down. So Jager makes a mistake there, going in that second outside zone. Looks like he's really fighting the car. Comes out of, just seems like, and there, I mean, there's the pressure we're looking for, but just too little, too late.
Big time, yeah. Man, I really almost like to get some insight on from Jager or his team on what is going on there. Like
obviously some sort of steering issue, because you saw him throw it out there and just it bites back.
It seemed like every time he left foot brake, the thing washed out and made him grip up.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, so
Alex ripping his way back to the pits.
Yeah, we're looking at the second half of this chase thing, where if we didn't see the first half, this would have been definitely Team Jager, but he definitely put the pressure on here. Like, is that just too little, too late? Almost gave him a little kiss of the front tires there.
Yeah.
Fortunate, that's all she wrote.
Yeah, so let's make it official. Jack Davis is stoked. He's moving on to top 16 with Alex Jager, assuming some mechanical issues, forcing those mistakes. But again, Jager saw him feverishly drive back to the start line.
Yeah, and you see some trend here. Like, I always go back to the qualifying scores. Always don't translate in how well we're going to do in competition.
It's not guaranteed.
Yeah, like we have Nate Chen qualified, or I guess that's a bad example, but like this one, Jager did really well, and didn't come. Yeah.
It doesn't always translate. Just because you qualify well, when push comes to shove, you literally have to push come to shove to get that victory when it comes head-to-head. There's some drivers that qualify really well and then just absolutely, make a mess of the head-to-head.
They what to the bit.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to say it, but I'll let you do that. All right, so here we are taking a look at our next battle. And this is, you talked about Hooman Rahimi yesterday, puncturing a battery, wadding the car, but his team working, getting back out there. Here's Sideways Sean Illingworth from the IE, from Corona, California, repping the IE. And coming to us from Tennessee, Hooman Rahimi. All right, so let's see what we got here. Both these guys in some Z's. So let's see what we got from Hooman Rahimi and Sideways Sean Illingworth. Hooman Rahimi qualifying 14th, Illingworth qualifying 19th. And this is another one of those scenarios of, middle of the pack, qualified decent, but now it comes to head-to-head. I got to think Hooman Rahimi, his mindset's like risk it all, man. Like, this is it. Leave it all out on the track. But I know Illingworth's trying to make a name for himself here in Formula Drift, but not part of the conversation right now. And Hooman Rahimi throwing down a heater of a run out front. And Illingworth back there quite a bit, gets in that rumble strip. Hooman looks like he does drop a tire, but just barely a couple of those GT radial treads going off. Let's run it back and see what we got.
There was one point where Illingworth wasn't even in the frame. That's I'm not sure what happened there. I usually he has a good performance out here. I mean, just from what I've seen in the Pro-Am and stuff. So look at Rahimi out here, flicking that Z in there. Illingworth does put the pressure on early. Gets Rahimi close to that inner zone 1. Illingworth just had a really poor transition there. Just could not make up the ground here. Rahimi doing exactly what he needs to do in outer zone 2. Illingworth, you see here, he comes out of frame a little bit from the Air Force eye in the sky here. Rahimi dropping one tire, throwing some dirt towards our PD guys and crowd, and yeah, the needle's definitely favoring Rahimi at this point.
All right, so Sean will now lead. Rahimi will give chase, get this overhead view.
I kind of want to see what happened. Illingworth fell back here, and he just wasn't. He didn't bring out that outer zone 1 drift way deeper or long enough, and it just completely fell apart after that. If he wouldn't have made that mistake, we would have been talking a little differently here.
All right, Sean on that Sac City Performance Nissan Z, Hooman Rahimi. Got his I'm only Hooman graphic on there. I'll turn it around, and 2 more battles after this to forge our 16 You know, notably, the big one is Ben Hobson in the 16. If he wins, he will be your 23 Link Engine Management ProSpec champion. That's in the 16. We do have a break. We are back here for 16 later on this afternoon. Local time will be here on Friday. That's, again, 3:30 local time. So pretty short halftime break, which is good. Back to the action at 3:30, opening ceremony. Thanks to our crew, blowing it off, getting it prepped. Again, 2.5 battles left, potentially, allegedly. Do you watch Letterkenny?
The first season a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's from Letterkenny, Pitter Patter.
Yeah,
Let's get at her.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Yes. All right, let's see what we got here. Sean Illingworth out front. Hooman Rahimi in the chase position. Track cleanup executed and continue. Two more battles after this. We got D. Mads and Cole Richards, and then Austin Mata always puts on a good show, and Mr. Daniel Malvasio. Large fries. Here we go. As we are seeing Sean Illingworth out front, Hooman Rahimi in the chase. Sean throws it in. Good angle, using all the force there. Gets the inside clip. Hooman knocks it over. There goes Sean on that. Oh, look at Hooman Rahimi. He checks up. Hooman surges forward, throws some more angle at it. Sean Illingworth filling that second outside zone. Hooman Rahimi taking a shallower line. There goes sideways Sean. Living up to his Instagram handle in that final outside zone. And there we go.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to clean up there, but I feel like Rahimi had a little better chase there. His ability to kind of recover was a little better here. We'll kind of break that down here. Looking at it from the eye in the sky, here we go. Illingworth, kind of a little failure to launch there, kind of had out of the handbrake, but Rahimi taking out the inner clip to gain some proximity here, and he had a much better transition than Illingworth there, and he really cuts a line there to get that proximity, but he makes up for it. It doesn't look terrible, but that's a lot of line cut. He basically was in outer zone 2 for a split second there. Transitioned a little too early there, but he did make up the ground here that Illingworth could not do in the chase position. So, yeah, it's going to be another look here from our chase drone. Rahimi trying to put the pressure on right away, cuts the line there. He holds in outer zone 1 a lot better than Illingworth did there, but he almost straightened there. That was super close to being an incomplete for Rahimi in the chase position here. Cutting more lines, getting that proximity, and just transitioning too early. He was already too far to the right of the track to hold out of that drift, so he really had no choice there and had to make up for it later, which is really hard to do, make it look good.
Hey, if you're here in the building, be sure to visit the Momo and Forge Star booth. Some really awesome apparel inspired by our top Formula Drift drivers, including Matt Field and Dylan Hughes, and Forge Star wheels ran by those gentlemen, even including Frederick Osbo, 3-time champion. Current event specials going down today and tomorrow, 15% off. So head on over there on particular items, both Momo and Forge Star. Be sure to check them out here at Utah Motorsports Campus.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the side-by-side here by our BC Racing custom coilovers. I feel like both gentlemen here had really good lead runs, but the crux of the situation is in the chase. Did Rahimi straighten out there? Kind of parked it there at outer zone 2, but Illingworth is about a country mile behind here, running into outer zone 3, where Rahimi is kind of the opposite story. He's putting on the pressure, where Illingworth isn't even in the frame, literally.
All right, so do we have an outcome? We'll see. Without saying, do you have a way you're going?
I'm with.
I said without saying.
Without saying.
I said, do you have somebody that you think has an advantage and gets the win? Okay. Sliding left for Hooman Rahimi, right for Sean Illingworth, and Hooman Rahimi gets the win. It is unanimous, so Hooman Rahimi gets the win. A good effort there by Sean Illingworth in that second run, but I think the first run is where it was really definitive of Hooman Rahimi, and also in that chase you saw Hooman kind of surge and show that he's right there, but yeah, so overall
dominance.
Yep.
I mean, if you can call it that. I mean, we need to clean it up. There's a lot of stuff happening in 32 that these guys got to learn, take into the top 16 and polish up.
Absolutely. Yep. And when I say without saying who it is, do you have somebody? You're like, I think it's, no, hold on.
Hey, set me up. You set me up, yeah.
All right. You know what? Congratulations to Cole Richards. He is your 2023 Rookie of the Year. With Buchanan losing earlier, it has been solidified from Naples, Florida. This young pilot. He's going against Derek Madison, and we know D-Maz at Fuel Lab Technologies. He is definitely a weapon. He is a pilot, so he can go down. But we know that Cole Richards got the victory earlier this year in New Jersey, put it all together for him. And this driver, I mean, he's only been cutting his teeth for him, being so young. I think 3 years he's been kind of forging this, and yeah. So we'll see if Cole Richards can deliver once again. Like I said, he got the win in New Jersey.
Yeah, it just goes to show like how awesome drifting is and how obtainable it is to get at this level. And if you have the drive and the program, skills to boot. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Takayano.
Exactly.
Yoshi in his corner, so he's definitely got some talent helping him out, and including Coro Works as well. Here we go, D-Maz, Derek Madison, Fuel Lab Technologies, S-Chassis up front. Cole Richards in the smoke, but still not too affected. Does come out of angle a little bit, but still maintains that proximity, so compromising, taken out, but Derek Madison in that last outside zone. Let's see how they handle and manage. Both of them on it. Derek Madison gets into the dirt. Little ground machine gun, but Cole Richards, you can see him. Good composure there. That was a real veteran move right there. Didn't get shooken and just kept on keeping on, even though that driver made that mistake out front, just dipping that tire.
Yeah, I love the aggression here from Richards into the chase position as Madison almost straightened out there, getting through interclip 1, filling out our zone 1. Look at that transition. Nice mimic from Richards here as Madison doing his due diligence here, filling out our zone 2. Richards looking smooth, a little bit of wavering here, but he's staying in that line, that pocket for how close he is and not trying to get ahead of the guy. And so here we go, looking at our zone 3, Madison getting a little piece of the dirt there. Richards keeping his composure, as you said, Jared, and just putting on a good show here. Take another look at it from our chase drone here. You almost see Madison pulling some angle out of there. That's going to be a little bit of a deficit. Fills in our zone 1 great. Kind of a little lazier transition going in outer zone 2. We like to see a little more aggression there. I think that gave Richards a little bit of an opportunity to gain some ground, and he did just that. He could have had a little better anticipation in that transition, but he was already too far wide. So taking the other side of the outer zone 3, you can see Madison kind of pouring angle there. He drops a tire. I believe it was only one as they cross the finish line here. Richards continuing to put on the pressure. Madison's really going to have to step up here, put on an absolute banger of a chase run against Richards to show his dominance in this top 32 battle.
Yeah, this car has seen Formula Drift action many moons ago, purchased this vehicle, and like I said, he's got the Drift School USA, Takayano, former Formula Drift competitor, competed in Hachiroku's for many years, so he's got him in his corner. And again, like I said, Coro Works, shout out to the Coro Works family as they are dealing with the passing of a great contributor to Formula Drift and the Formula Drift and drifting DNA in general, Tyler Clayton, aka Ravel. He lost his battle with cancer just a few weeks ago, so our love and support goes out to Tyler and the Coro Works family. All right, here we go. So Cole Richards now throwing it down again. He won in New Jersey. Here we go. You talk about Derek Madison needs to apply the pressure. Cole Richards comes on into that second outside zone and really good massive angle. Look at that. I mean, he just set it right into that second outside zone. Derek Madison diving to the inside. Cole Richards filling that outside zone. Derek Madison now gets to the side of him. Good effort by Derek Madison. You saw him just get right in there. This is the best. I got to say, this is probably the best battle we've seen. Yeah. Cleanliness, in the 32.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Madison had a little work on the outer zone 2 in his chase position, but look at here as Richards out front with the clean air, both getting through interclip 1, nice through outer zone 1. Madison a little lazier on the transition, could have mimicked that a little better, but he falls deep in outer zone 2 as Richards wasn't as deep. He tries to cut the line there to get proximity. Just a half a step behind Richards, and he tries to cut his line to make up for that in just about all the zones here, and he does close the door before the finish, and very similarly to Richards on his chase run. So take another look at it here from the eye in the sky as they go through outer zone 1, both in it just as deep, and here we go transitioning into outer zone 2. See some wavering. You see some wheel action coming from the Madison camp there in the chase position as he pours on the throttle to gain some ground. He just couldn't quite get the ground that he wanted to gain until the very end. I don't think it's going to be enough to assert his dominance in this battle. I believe it's 50-50 for me at this point. So, whew.
It's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I like that. This is a great way to kind of set precedence and move on into the 16. Again, congratulations to Cole Richards, your 2023 Link Engine Management Rookie of the Year and your winner against D-Mat's Derek Madison.
What an upset, huh? A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Cole won in Jersey. I would say it's an upset. I mean, again, a veteran versus a rookie. It is what it is. You got to love that, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, Cole gets the win. Another gentleman that is moving on. He is with, and he's more human than human. Am I correct, Lorette?
You are absolutely correct. And he posted on social media that he was out, but he is here, he is fighting, and it has been an emotional weekend for you.
It's been stressful, it's been emotional, but we did it. We got it together. I made it to top 16. It's my first top 16 this season. We've been having a rough season, and this was a rough event to start. And last session of practice, we threw it backwards into the wall on entry, 80 miles per hour, tore the whole thing up. When we looked at it, we're just like, there's no way we're getting this back together. I got a call from Jonathan after I threw in the towel, and he's like, Jonathan Cash, and he said, you're gonna do this. Put it together, get your team. Your team's here, they're good, they know what they're doing. We're doing this, just put it together the best you can, even if it's not good enough. And we did it. I'm thankful to him. Like, I wouldn't have done it if he didn't call me, so that's awesome. And then we got a lot of help from a lot of different people. Connor Rosoli's team helped us with the welding, and Cage Kids helped us with the bash bar and everything. We ended up painting the bash bar pink because we don't have a bumper anymore, and we made it into top 16. I'm super excited.
All right, Human, thank you so much, and hoping to advance further than that. Jared,
I don't think Human has nitrous. He's just running off his energy as well. He's charging the car with his energy, which I absolutely is absolutely commendable. And yeah, shout out to Jonathan Hurst, aka Cash Racing, the pride of Paducah. They're traveling together this year, and he says, "Let's do this. Get it back together. Throw some zip ties, bubble gum, and again that love and that passion." Here we go. Our final battle of top 32. Again, our GT Radio top 32. Austin Mata and Daniel Malvasio. Austin is going to lead, qualifying 11th, and 22nd is Malvasio. Here goes Mata into that inside clip in that first outside zone. And Mata into the second outside zone. You see, right on that course. Oh, Malvasio, big correction out back. You saw him kind of beeline into that second outside zone. And Malvasio taking a shallower line, but Mata filling all of it. Again, a Formula Drift. He's been banging away for many years. Austin, that is out front.
Yeah, he did exactly what you need to do in the lead position. He just didn't falter. Malvasio kind of had a late start to begin with here, and he just couldn't quite grab that pocket that he needs to in that chase position. As Mata does a good job here, drawing a nice smooth arc right along that outside line in outer zone 2. Malvasio looked like he had an incomplete there. Seen some movement from the judges that he might have been steering the wrong direction there during drift, so that will be interesting to see what transpires there as they cross the finish line. Taking another look here from our chase eye in the sky. Kind of a straight up initiation from Mata, but Malvasio trying to make it. He's wheeling his way around in outer zone 1. And he loses some speed here. Kind of chokes up, and then take a look. I don't know if we'll be able to see this angle right there.
Oh, yeah.
It went the other way. I saw it. Dead of sight. That wheel went to the right. His wheels went to the right when he's supposed to be turned to the left. So it's a counter steer. That's our definition of drifting, of course.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm going to say it right now, that's an incomplete for Malvasio, unfortunately. Look at this picturesque shot here we got here. Mata heading perfectly. That was so good going in the outer zone too. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Malvasio that went the way it did for him. So Mata, good on him, and let's reverse the roll and see what happens.
All right, so again, moving on to the second half of this battle, what could potentially be the final battle of our GT Radio Top 32. Like I said, local time will be back at 3:30. All right, so again, we'll be back here for our live stream Top 16 opening ceremony at 3:30. That is our United States Air Force opening ceremonies. Second half of this battle, Malvasio out front, Mata in the chase position. Matt, you'll be joining me for 16 and to the entirety, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just miss it for the world.
I mean, they throw me whoever sits next to me. They're like, okay, go for it. No, I'm joking. But, you know, yourself, Jacob, yesterday, I know I'm going to have, I believe, tomorrow have Sage here with me for 16. But, yeah. Who's joining me for 32? Ryan. Is that Ryan? Do we know? I'm going to find that out.
Lights
All
out.
right. Here we go. Second half of this battle. Melvasio out front. Mata in that chase position. Melvasio passing inside clip. Mata in the smoke. But not too phased by it at all in that second outside zone. Look at that. I mean, that's a really good chase run. That's composure right there. Not being too aggressive. Knowing who you're going against. And with Melvasio with those major mistakes, he didn't even need to go that hard, to be quite honest.
You're right,
but
Jared.
that's good practice. That's him, because guess what? He's going against Cole Richards, who just had a heater of a chase run and a good lead run. So that's really smart of Austin to say, hey, I'm going to cut my teeth here against Melvasio.
Yeah, like you said, it never dawned on me like, hey, let's go practice. I mean, and a lot of these drivers actually treat their practice runs as if they're competing. So then it's just like another run to them. So look at the pressure here that Austin didn't necessarily have to put on, but is very good composure. People could take the page out of his book as they head into outer zone 3 here. Melvasio doing his best. He feels the outer zone 3 pretty well. Mata right there on his rear tire there, taking a look at the chase drone. Mata putting a little flick in anticipatorily before the lead car. Interesting strategy. Worked out pretty well for him as they go through outer zone 1. You can see his transition was a little later, but it helped him out as Melvasio pulls in and out of outer zone 2. And Mata keeping his composure there. They transition to outer zone 3. And as we wrap up top 32 here, I think we know which way the needle's going to favor, as I haven't super confirmed that it was an incomplete from Melvasio, but I believe Mata has this one in the bag.
All right, so slide him left for Mata, right for Melvasio. And there it is. Let's make it unanimous. Austin Mata gets the win, and our top 16 is shaped up. So Melvasio is out, Mata is in, and our 16 has been forged. Local time, we're back here 2 hours just about, say 2 hours and 6 minutes, okay? Or 2 hours and 5 minutes, my bad. All right, so there's our top 16. Hansen versus Knappich, Cole versus Hobson, Haley versus Rawlings, Foley versus Root, Donati versus Miles, Davis against Bogovic, Love and Rahimi, Richards and Mata. The big story of here today, Ben Hobson, if he wins in the 16, he is your 2023 Link Engine Management ProSpec champion. Matt,
Jared,
grab a bite to eat.
Let's do it.
Let's do some things, get hyped up. 2 hours from now, tune back in here at Utah Motorsports Campus. This is Elevated, brought to you by Type S and AutoZone. Round 4 of 4 of the Link Engine Management ProSpec Championship. Thank you so much. You have Matt Sofa, Robbie, Brian, Sean, Chris, Ryan, everybody. Anybody else?
All the Ryans and Bryans.
Yeah? Want to say hi to anybody?
Hey, Rebecca and Abel.
There you go.
Miss you guys.
That's what I wanted to hear. Here we go. Send it. Move back here in 2 hours.